subscribe.
I'm sorry, but I just can't understand your business plan. You're marketing it as a death camp, but you're showing me blueprints with a swimming pool and a maternity ward. And an orchestra? It seems you need to figure out where to focus your efforts. And for that reason, I'm out.
Babies are just kind of like almost have souls, but not yet. So if a baby dies, it's like, nah.
What?
Yeah. Or if you have too many kids, you can just kill them because they're just like
what
animals.
What the fuck are you talking? Going.
I burned this evil flag on the 4th of July in remembrance of my 34 brothers tattooed in my arm who were slaughtered by Israel June 8, 1967.
Now silently the host of Rohan moved forward into the field of Gondor, pouring in slowly but steadily like the rising tide through breaches in a dike that men have thought secure. But the mind and will of the Black Captain were bent wholly on the falling city, and as yet no tidings came to him warning that his designs held any flaw. After a while the king led his men away somewhat eastward, to come between the fires of the siege and the outer fields. Still they were unchallenged, and still Theoden gave no signal. At last he halted once again. The city was now nearer. A smell of burning was in the air and a very shadow of death. The horses were uneasy, but the king sat upon Snowmane, motionless, gazing from the agony of Minas Tirith, as if stricken suddenly by anguish or by dread. He seemed to shrink down, cowed by age. Merry himself felt as if a great weight of horror and doubt had settled on him. His heart beat slowly. Time seemed poised in uncertainty. They were too late. Too late was worse than never. Perhaps Theoden would quail, bow his old head, turn, slink away to hide in the hills. Then suddenly Merry felt it at last, beyond doubt, a change. Wind was in his face. Light was glimmering. Far, far away in the south the clouds could be dimly seen as remote grey shapes rolling up, drifting. Morning lay beyond them. But at that same moment there was a flash, as if lightning had sprung from the earth beneath the city. For a searing second it stood dazzling far off in black and white, its topmost tower like a glittering needle. And then as the darkness closed again, there came rolling over the fields a great boom. At that sound the bent shape of the king sprang suddenly erect. Tall and proud he seemed again, and rising in his stirrups he cried in a loud voice more clear than any there had ever heard a mortal man achieve before. Arise, arise, riders of Theoden! Fell deeds await fire and slaughter. Spear shall be shaken, shield be splintered, sword day, red day, ere the sun rises. Ride now, ride now, ride to Gondor! With that he seized a great horn from Gudlach his banner-bearer, and he blew such a blast upon it that it burst asunder. And straightway all the horns in the host were lifted up in music, and the blowing of the horns of Rohan in that hour was like a storm upon a plain, and the thunder in the mountains. Ride now, ride now, ride to Gondor! Suddenly the king cried to Snowmane, and the horse sprang away. Behind him his banner blew in the wind, the white horse of the field of green, but he outpaced it. After him thundered the knights of his house, but he was ever before them. Elmer rode there, the white horse tail on his helm, floating his speed. On the front of the first Aelred roared like a breaker foaming to the shore, but Theoden could not be overtaken. Fey he seemed, nor the battle fury of his fathers ran like new fire in his veins. And he was born upon Snowmane like a god of old, even as Orome the Great in the battle of the Valar when the world was young. His golden shield was uncovered, and lo, it shone like an image of the sun, and the grass flamed green above the white feet of his steed. For morning came, morning, and a wind from the sea, and darkness was removed, and the hosts of Mordor wailed, and the terror overtook them, and they fled and died, and the hoofs of Roth rode over them. And then all the host of Rohan burst into song, and they sang as they slew, for the joy of battle was on them, and the sound of their singing that was fair and terrible came into the city.
Ladies and gentlemen, hope you're having a wonderful evening tonight. It is Monday, and we have got a little bit of a show for you today with some very unfortunate news to start things off, that being the passing of Mark Krebs, who I never got the chance to meet, but I know a lot of people who did and who spoke very highly of him in the gun industry. So very sorry to hear his passing, as well as the passing of Gort, as Griffin, or as GB Gun just let me know there. So I really appreciate that, guys. And just keep in mind, check in on the homies. It can be a rough time losing someone that you love, losing someone that you care about, family members, whatever it might be. Check in on the homies and always let them know what's going on. But after that, we do have a little bit of gun news, some drama, not much. It's really, really slim pickings as far as the gun industry over the last couple of days. A bit of a slow news week to start, you could say. So we got to go over some O-Site. We got to go over some old Ken Hackathorn clips. We've got some, Matt Pranka making Spec Ops Magazine, and a few other assorted pieces of rage bait in escalating awfulness. But before we get to all of that, it is Monday. Therefore, we have Richard and the Big Toe Money Mondays, Zorb. How's it going tonight, gentlemen?
Good.
It's going all right, John.
Just all right? Not great?
Well,
Not
I mean,
fantastic? You guys already
a-
seem down. We haven't even gotten to the rage bait yet.
Well, it's a somber start of the stream, There's a passing in the community, and whether you know who Mark Krebs is, whether you care about AKs at all, you can't really.
Well, it's
deny
not
the
just
fact
AKs. He
Yeah.
did stuff with everything,
that was what he was most known for, in my mind, is AKs, and he was a huge part in that, especially stateside. So, sad to see.
Yeah, Art Vandalay has a good point here. Maybe in honor of Mr. Krebs, we should give him a 10-toe salute, Jake.
I'm sure you got 1,000 videos and AI doctored images for that. John.
Yeah, but
No, those are all real.
we'll go. Doctored AI? What are you talking about? We don't support Indians here. What are you talking about? They're all real. But this is from the family or the account saying, with great sadness, we are heartbroken to share that Mark Krebs has passed away early Sunday morning. He will always be missed and remembered forever with love. Please keep our family in your prayers. Krebs Custom will be closed today, of course, this Monday. So if you had orders in the works, I would expect a slight delay in terms of that as the family and company kind of works to overcome the loss of Mr. Krebs here. So it's a big loss. Again, I know a lot of people who respected him greatly, who were fans of his kindness and the help that he had given to them personally. And so for that, rest in peace, sir, and prayers for you and for your family in this hard time. As far as, cause of death, I know people are always interested in that sort of thing. It could be a myriad of health complications. It's a little bit of an older gentleman, whatever it happens to be, give the family their time. And I'm sure more details will come out in the coming weeks and months. So press F in chat to pay respects for Mr. Krebs and his passing. And yeah, prayers for him and his family. I don't know. Do you guys have any specific experiences with Mr. Krebs?
I do not know. I've heard good things about him, but he was a nice guy. So, and obviously his work that he's done I don't know if it's an overstatement to say revolutionize the AK, especially in the United States, but that's what I hear.
Well, you know what it is. It's you'll have an Eastern European invention, quote unquote, but it takes somebody from the West, specifically an American, to perfect it, okay? Or to make it better at least. I mean, best safety's in the business. Let's move on from there, shall we? So in a bit of tonal shift or gravitational shift, there is this wonderful bit of Instagram marketing. You know how most people, when they're using Instagram marketing, it's like, let's get a chick, let's put her in skimpy clothes, let's put some nods on her, and we'll have some really hard saying, and maybe she'll have a lot of tattoos or something like that. Well, some lady saw that and said, you know what? I can basically do the same thing, however, for a totally different demographic. So instead of having the e-thought marketing campaign, we now have the Torta marketing campaign. And yes, this is real. Unfortunately, F anyone that's bringing you down from the queen of Wyborcity.
Gravity's trying really hard.
I was about to make that joke. Gravity is the one bringing you down, my friend.
That's bringing you down, sweetheart.
Sweetheart, you're doing your thing right now.
Oh no.
Oh, it's so silly, right? I think that this goes hard for like, wait, who is actually into this? Who does this actually work for? Jake, is this marketing appealing to you, or Richard?
No.
Is this marketing is this your demographic? We've got 3 different age groups here. So, anyone? No woods in the chat. I didn't see a single wood in the chat. Blast says Seal Hammer. Imagine clearing a building with that orca. Anyway, so she says, Arm 6 2026 sneaker ball. I show up exactly as I am, feminine, confident, and unapologetically capable. Ma'am, I don't know if you can make it up those stairs. Also,
I don't think you need to clear a building with her. You could just drop her out of a helicopter on the roof, and
she is the massive ordinance to drop on the building. Although I didn't notice this. They make like triple XL light up shoes. Like they make them in adults. Adults can buy these.
Oh yeah,
probably on like Temu.
Yeah, I guess. Bulletproof BBL. Not a sentence I needed to read or say in my entire lifetime. Bulletproof BBL. All right. To every woman who's ever been told that she was too much, ironically, the only thing in your life that's telling you you're too much is probably the scale. Yeah, that's the problem with women friends, is they'll like lie to your face. They'll be like catty, like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful, you're so strong, you're so empowering, I love how you're so confident in wow, you're so brave in that dress. It's like, maybe you should just tell her what you actually think would be a good friend, and tell her that this is really unhealthy. Like, this is terrible. This looks awful. Too loud, too feminine, too curvy. Guys, this is not curvy. Okay, well, there might be definitional curves here. We're not talking about affecting the curvature of the earth. When I think of someone who's curvy, like who's somebody that's like minorly obese, like Haley Lujan, like minorly obese like that. Like, oh, she's a little fat. And it's like, I'll accept that. Like, that's about as fat as I'll go, right? It's like Haley Lujan, like, chubby, but like still like, you're like kind of cute, I guess. That's about as fat as you should be allowed to be. But this
John, the psyops right now.
But I mean, listen, she's fat, and people like that. Okay, people like Haley Lujan. They're into thick girls. It's whatever.
Call every girl fat. She's like 98 pounds. Yeah, you could use to lose.
Oh, dude, the funniest thing I ever saw was Ariana Grande looking like a skeleton, and somebody quote tweeted it and was like, "I like my girls a little fat like this." She looks like death, and it's like, yeah, a little bit of extra weight isn't a bad thing. Too curvy, too confident, way too confident. On that, we agree. Be more, take up space.
Check.
Correct. On your own power. Now, here's the thing. You might currently be on your own power, but when you're on that Walmart scooter trying to get through the snack aisle, that's not on your own power, okay? Protect your peace. You're not your heart's peace. Jeez. Imagine like your tiny little feminine heart trying to power what is the equivalent of a silverback gorilla. Okay, it's like putting a Miata engine in an F-350. It's just not going to work out the way you think it is. Okay, long term, not a great solution.
So is this AI?
What
is this AI or just is? I feel like this is somebody fed
it's a
AI
real person.
Images.
It's a real person, which is even worse. She has made shooting videos before that we have gone over on the Rumble stream. So this is a real person who makes real shooting content. Not, now, to be clear, not good shooting content, but she does actually make content featuring her physicality plus guns.
I want to see her and Randy go head to head at shooting competition.
Oh, Randy would dominate. Randy would absolutely dominate. I think Randy has like 100 pounds on her, and he would still just mop the floor with her. Metaphorically, of course.
Was that before or after he lost the 100 pounds?
No, I think currently, at his current weight, he's still probably 100 pounds heavier, because I think he's mid threes. And this
but can
woman's
he do
probably
it in
realistically like high twos.
That's the real question.
This is a 300-pound lady right here, John.
Yeah, can Randy?
Well, but how
run
tall
the
is she? What if she's 5'2"? Like if you're 5'2"
Still.
and 250 pounds, this is what you look like.
What weighs more, fat or muscle? I don't actually know.
Which one's more dense? Is that your
Somebody-
question? Muscle is more dense.
Okay.
Which one weighs more, a pound of muscle or a pound of fat?
That's, you know what I mean, John.
Density, yes. Density muscle is more
Density-wise.
dense. Now she ends it with I belong here. And that's because nobody has the physical power to move you. You belong there as much as, there's no forklift in the area to remove you. But yeah, you look amazing. This is what women do. You look amazing, girl. No, you lying whore. Girl, you're a badass bee, so hot and sexy. No. Yes, I wish I was there to witness those shoes. Gorgeous and fierce. No. Yes,
Oh.
queen, fire. Women are just liars. They're so evil.
No.
They're terrible,
come on,
dude.
man.
Could you imagine having one of your friends like this and they're like having trouble breathing? They like can't go out, they can't go on hikes, they can't go on walks or do anything physical with you, and you're just like gassing them up for absolutely no reason. Like women are actually evil. Like that is malpractice. Like if one of my children was fat, which wouldn't ever happen, but just hypothetically, and you allow that, like that now comes back on you. That's your problem. Ooh.
Sad world we live in.
Anyways, now brace yourself for something almost as atrocious, at least if you're a right-handed shooter. But one of our esteemed military members forgot a cleaning rod in his issued M4 and, recreated an overpressure situation, which resulted in the detonation of his upper receiver. Now, this is straight up like sovereign protection of this guy's face, because you'll be happy to know the shooter in this case was left-handed.
Wow.
So providence that he did not remove large chunks of his face, considering, that's an ACOG on top, it's 4x ACOG, which means your face is like right next to that thing. That would have been a really, really, really bad day if you had your face basically pressed up against the upper receiver there.
Yeah.
Ouch. So
That
from
is
a follower,
very providential that he is left-handed. He was made left-handed for the specific reason.
exactly, yeah.
No, I thought that
You
was a
get one
cutaway.
free blowing up your M4 if you're left-handed. Sorry, go ahead. Rich.
I thought that was a cutaway.
No, well, it is now.
Yeah, it is now. It probably still works, right?
Thank you, Brap Hago, giving me the exact dimensions of her. 332 pounds. Whoa, okay. So from Lyndon's, from a follower, a lieutenant, for some reason jammed a cleaning rod in the barrel of his FN M16A4. I would assume forgot about it and then decided he was good to go hot on the range. The shooter was lucky he was left-handed, because had he been right-handed, he would have that would have been a bad day. The upper and barrel are toast, but don't worry, the ACOG on top is good to go, of course. But just a catastrophic malfunction. And I've actually never seen this type of blowout where it literally removes an entire side of the upper receiver and doesn't like blow out the barrel. Because usually the AR-15, the way it's designed is it will just blow forward and to the right, because the right side of the receiver is weaker because you have the whole, ejection port there. So usually it'll blow away like forward and to the right, which as a right-handed shooter is designed to go away from you, right? So that's kind of a safety feature. But blowing out the left side of the gun, never seen something like that before.
It's probably
Jeez.
a really old upper receiver. I mean,
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, just
based off
look at
of
it.
the lower, it looks old. I can't really
Look at
tell
how
on the
many
upper.
times the takedown pin has been moved, for, maintenance or whatever it is, with knives and hammers or whatever it
Yeah.
is that people are like picking at the thing to get it unlocked. So yeah, it's seen some wear and tear, but still that detonation I've never seen before. Hopefully I never see one in person.
I bet this would still function though. Like they might have to replace the barrel, but I think this would function.
No, because there's no cam path.
Yeah. Well,
It
fire-
technically probably could
would-
still work. It would just
Yeah.
fall out though, because it's barely keeping the charging handle and gas key in here. I would actually be curious to see if it does, I wouldn't be shooting it. I would be shooting it with a string on a, you know, on a tripod or something. But there is a possibility that this does actually cycle.
Give it to a lefty shooter. They can shoot it safely.
Hey, well, 308 supremacist, you just doxed yourself there, bro. Got to be careful, dog. All right, let's see here. Now, I forgot about this next one. Okay. You guys like PSA, right? No, yeah. Jake, I happen to know, not to dox you, I happen to know that your main fighting rifle is a PSA, okay? You love PSA. Big supporter.
It's a PSA with a lot of different parts, but
right.
That also doesn't mean I like PSA. Or
now,
love them even.
What about H&R? Do you guys like H&R, which is like the retro novelty section of PSA, essentially, which they purchased and they have, you know, they're made in the same place, essentially. But what do you guys think about H&R? Because I know a lot of people are excited about their retro products.
I like retro H&R stuff when they don't come with extra holes in them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, they've unveiled their newest model of retro AR. Some would say has been promised to the consumers 3,000 years ago, that being the IDF Special.
Nice.
So if you guys want a real retro rifle, you want something with real pedigree, okay, well, H&R has got something for you guys. That being the H&R IDF Special Pistol. It is the kind of build that looks as good as it shoots, with every detail being exactly where it should. Yes, this is a recreation of one of the OG IDF rifles before they moved on to what the Tavor, and then they moved on to whatever they have now, right? So Galil or maybe something like that, I forget. But this was one of their service rifles from back in the day. Motto says this rifle was promised to me 270,000 years ago, so the Talmud says. The rifle has been banned in 109 countries. Of course. Can we not call it an IDF model? All right, PSA kiss right? The wall. I don't know. What even makes an IDF Special? It looks like it's got an A1 upper receiver. It's got a, what is that? A 12.5? A 14.5?
Looks like a 13 or 14.
Yeah, because it's still a carbine length gas system, I think.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of a longer barrel. Old A1 grip, which hot take, the A1 grip was like one of the best grips ever invented before the Magpul K2. So they should have just stuck with the A1 grip. So actually a good option. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it's funny, out of all of the clone retro rifles that H&R could be developing, you know, somebody was like, what about the IDF Special? It's like whose favorite rifle is the IDF version of the M4? Did anyone even know? Like, did anyone in chat even know that the IDF had their own version of the M4?
Probably not.
The Z15. Did they trim the pick rails? That's a good question. Good question.
I don't know if there's really anybody who wants this. I think they'd be better off. They shorten the barrel a little bit, put the, you know, that classic Car 15 muzzle device on it, and then send it with like a 20 round straight mag. That would fly off the shelf. That'd be awesome. People would love that.
See, if you didn't tell me this was like the IDF version of the rifle, I'd actually be more interested in it, because it's like, for the time, it looks like a 12.5, maybe an 11.5, which is like, oh, that's actually a really good barrel length. I'm not a huge fan of the A1 sight systems, but they're fine. They work. You know, it's got the teardrop forward assist. So it's like, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen from a retro rifle. But then you tell me it's the IDF Special, and I'm like, oh man, I can't be walking around with this, okay? Perfect for people who don't carry with around in the chamber. This is for ARFCOM boomers. It has to be. Like, I didn't even know that the IDF had their own special version of it. But I mean, kind of makes sense for the time. M26 is not beating the allegations. He had an IDF clone 10 years ago. But is an IDF clone just like a 12.5 with an A1 upper? Because that's essentially all this is, like a 12.5 with an A1 upper. I mean, at some point, all cloner rifles just blend together for me. Like, if I had to pick this out of a lineup between like a Gordy and a bunch of others, I'd be like, that one, I guess, you know. All right, this is for hostages. 9? No way. That's not even 9. I get it. I thought you were being serious there for a second. 9.1 inch barrel. That's not even possible. You'd have to have a pistol length gas system on that. No, I get it. All right. But anyways, let's move on to should we do drama or should we do like Delta before we go to drama? I'll let you guys decide.
Let's go to Cagland, John.
Okay, fine. Cagland it is. So here we have allegedly pictures of the currently in Delta testing new sidearm, that being a Staccato HD like firearm. However, this one here is, of course, the ported 5-inch variant, Glock fed, Glock magazine. So it's still the drop safe version of their newer line of handguns, but it's the big 5-inch with a full comp. So they are like going all in on a big boy 9mm Staccato sidearm. I think the last time they tested a 2011 style firearm was the old STIs in like 2011. I think Matt Pranke even talked about when he was doing testing on the STIs and they just could never get them reliable enough for what they wanted. So then they went with the Glock 22 until it got replaced by the 17. But now they're coming all the way back. They want a hyper expensive, big boy, aggressive, capable 9mm handgun that will never get used in combat.
Probably will never even get carried.
I'm sure some of them carry it. Like if they're wasting time and money to, test it out and see how it goes. I mean, if you're Staccato, you got to be hyper excited about this because if it does, get a contract or win, it adds a lot to your pedigree, even just if somebody carries it. Not saying that it's ever used in an active combat situation or something like that. Because to me, a sidearm is so secondary, tertiary to like an actual like professional fighter in 99% of circumstances that it really doesn't make sense to carry anything other than a Glock 17. It's like just get something that's light, that's reliable, and does all the things that you need it to do. And a Glock 17 just does that. And if you're a Delta Cag bro who actually practices a gazillion rounds a year, then you don't really care what the gun is. Like you're not some noob who is, barely shoots, doesn't know what you're doing. And so you need a 5-inch 2011 with a big port on it to, shoot 9mm.
Yeah. I guess I was more referring to the fact that I don't know that they would carry this, like not on like raids or anything. I don't know. I think there's a lot of times when they don't even carry a sidearm, especially
Sure.
if it's a heavy one like this. I don't know. Or I would think they would just stick with the Glock.
It's not crazy heavy. I think it's like 35 ounces, so it's like 10 ounces heavier. It might be a little heavier with the full 5-inch version. So keep in mind, guys, that this uses the firing pin safety version of the 2011 trigger. So these are drop safe, just like a Glock 17 would be. Maybe not as drop safe given every possible configuration out there, but they are actually safe, which is why the trigger is worse on these because you do have to defeat a firing pin block during the trigger press on these HD style Staccatos. So Delta is testing a unreleased version of the Staccato HD, a full 5-inch model, which is really big, with a compensator. So it's really like a 5.5, 6-inch gun, which again, this is not available to the public. This has not been announced for the public. This is specifically for Delta. Compatible with Glock magazines around 2006, 2007. They tested the STI 2011, the predecessor of Staccato, but adopted the G22. Around 2019 to 2020, it was updated to the Glock 17, which again, just makes a lot of sense. If you're going to be carrying a sidearm, if you're going to be using one, or even just having it as a backup option, just make it small, make it lightweight, make it, very capable, which a Glock 17 is, and kind of forget about it. Now, they did an interview, Dalton Fisher, with the CEO of Staccato. This was from a few days ago, and they kind of talk about some of the military contracts or testing that they've done on it. So we'll listen to this for a second.
So what about military use?
Working on it. What's interesting is historically the 1911 was always considered the professional's gun. So like you go back 25 years ago, Delta was carrying custom 1911s, Marine Recon was carrying custom 1911s, FBI HRT and the U.S. Marshal SOG were carrying 1911s. And the perception of that was it's not just because it's America's gun, but it's like a professional will maintain it knowing that you have to lube a 1911 different than you have to lube a Glock 17 or it's not going to run right. But the trade-off is that accuracy, that shootability they get with it for a very unique specified role. 2011 is no different. I will say that most of you.
Now, I don't even know if that's really true. I think for the like low tier shooter or the mid tier shooter, a 2011 or a 1911 style firearm can be a lot easier. It's why you see them dominate like limited optics at the highest end. But you'll still see people just run Glocks side by side with them with 99% the same results. So for me, when I'm thinking about like a duty style firearm or whatever it is, in my head, I'm projecting like all I care about is that when I pull the trigger, it goes bang and doesn't go down if it gets dirty, right? Doesn't go down if it gets muddy, which, yeah, Staccatos have a pretty good track record at this point in terms of, you know, getting some LE contracts here and there and having a really good like reputation for just running. But they are still going to be more sensitive in certain scenarios than something like a Glock will be. So for me, it's like for a system that really isn't going to be used all that much, like why am I spending twice as much on the handgun as I am on the rifle? Because keep in mind that Staccato HD or the ported Staccato HDs are like $3,500, $4,000 starting. So I think this custom 5-inch is probably going to be the most expensive model. Like a Staccato XC is like what, $4,500? Maybe 5,000. It's a really, really expensive handgun, and it's going to be about almost twice as expensive as the rifles that they're actually carrying.
I mean, honestly, John, I think they're looking for any way they can to spend as much taxpayer money as they possibly can, and this is a great option for that. Other than doing like the
listen, I'll take 26 Sons of Liberty Gunworks Mark 1s. And we'll take 15 Staccato, whatever these are, HD 5.0Xs or whatever they're going to call them.
Yeah, I mean, the only way they could do any better would be what's that silly one that you shot that's based in your area that's super expensive?
Oh, the Waltz 9. Yeah.
Yeah, they could do that, I guess, but
dude, heck yeah. It's also Glock magazine fed. It's way more comfortable.
Yeah.
No external safety. It's also drop safe. And they could even tune up the trigger to not be, 32 ounces like it is on the Waltz 9. Because I don't know if I'd be comfortable running around with a hot Waltz 9, jumping off of rooftops and helicopters and whatnot. But still, they could tune it up for you to do what you wanted. So why not? Also, they shoot fantastic. They're actually insane shooters.
Your guns made by manufacturers today all have a very high level of mechanical accuracy. Whether it's an H&K, Smith & Wesson, a Glock, they're all mechanically extremely accurate compared to polymer guns 25 years ago. The difference is in how accurate can a human shoot that gun when they're under stress. And that's where you see the benefit of our platform. It's not just the feeling of, yes, it's lower recoil. Some of that's mitigated because of the linked barrel. Some of that's because of how the engineers have sprung the gun. And in a 1911 or 2011, you have more springs to play with to get that slide velocity where you want it.
Yeah, but again, I think this really only matters for low and mid-tier shooters. Like, again, I can shoot an RXM like 99% the same as I can that stupid ported Turkish 2011 that I have. Like, they shoot, one has a 3-pound trigger, one has a 6-pound trigger. One is a 23-ounce polymer frame gun, the other one is an aluminum steel 42-ounce ported gun. It's like they shoot basically the same. Basically the same. It's all about the shooter at the end of the day. And actually, in that case, again, if I was even going to compete with one of those things, it would be the RXM, because at least I have a higher confidence that when I pull the trigger, it's going to go bang and not break or blow up on me, because I did blow the compensator up on that 2011. So again, I think Staccatos are fine guns. And I think the P specifically has a really good reputation with LE, mill, and even competition guys, because it does go tens or 50 or 60,000 rounds and doesn't have that many issues. And as long as you keep them lubricated and to treat them well, they do kind of work. Now, as far as somebody was asking what I think about the Waltz 9, I think the Waltz 9 is better than just about every 2011 I've ever shot, with its like dual delayed mechanism, which I think does affect the way that it shoots. Like, it's one of the weirdest, softest shooting guns on the market. Now, if you like that, you're going to like it. If you like a snappy, sharp recoil impulse, the Waltz 9 is not going to be for you. Also, they're $5,000. So there's that.
I don't know. I guess I don't think I agree with the argument of like it's easier to shoot under stress. I don't know that that's a thing.
Well,
I think any pistol, like if you have not trained those skills adequately, any pistol is going to be really difficult to shoot under a high stress situation. It doesn't matter if it's like a race gun with a super light trigger or a Glock with a stock trigger. I think they're both going to be difficult.
I think it can matter a little bit. So like for the weird case scenarios, like, so if there's a 25-yard small percentage target, so like 5-6 inches, and I'm shooting on the move or with a really aggressive lean or in a weird position, if I have a 2.5 pound trigger, like, or a 1.8 pound trigger on my Shadow 2 versus like a 6 pound RXM trigger, I have a higher confidence in my where that bullet is going in that case than I do on like a stock Glock trigger or something like that. It's like, but that's a super crazy edge case where I'm doing a really low percentage shot on the move while leaning or sliding or a weird, something strange is going on where, yeah, I'm under pressure and I need to get this shot off. So there are some weird scenarios where having a lighter trigger or having better ergonomics is nice, but I just think that 2011s have worse ergonomics than a Glock.
Yeah.
Like, so I dislike the grips on 2011s.
Full transparency, I have never shot a 2011 of any variety. So maybe
I'm to come out here saying I know all about these guys.
No, I think on principle, like I have an issue with some of that. Like, oh, well, this gun's super duper nice. So it's just like way better. It's easier to shoot when you're in a high stress scenario. I'm like, I don't know that any handgun is going to be like,
I don't know about like
super
stress,
easy to shoot
I would say,
in a high stress scenario.
For lower percentage shots, I would say it's easier, not for stress. Because stress, like, if you freak out and over input a Glock down, congratulations, you're going to do the same thing with the Staccato or with an STI or with a MPA or with whatever it happens to be. That's just going to be the same thing. So
I think there are some. Though that was what he was saying, was that in high stress scenarios, it's easier to use. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to disrespect Mr. John Staccato, but.
Well, what's funny here actually is that we're talking about Delta DevGru contracts or whatnot, and the former CEO of Staccato, Nate Horvath, is now the CEO of Sons of Liberty Gunworks. And so they're both vying for like the same contracts as, I forget this gentleman's name, but they're both going after the same type of contracts. I mean, honestly, though, I like the Staccato XC like okay as a handgun. The HD, whatever this is I guess the same thing, but a duty version of it. Because if you don't know, the XC again is like a $5,000 2011, ported at the end, different iron sight setup, not Glock capable and not drop safe. So this is literally just an XC for like cops, or in this case, Delta. Now, I would be interested if it does like actually pass their internal testing, and it's like, no, it is actually insanely reliable. It's like, okay, cool. Hey, we're coming to a point where ported 2011s or comped 2011s are actually can be as reliable as a Glock, or at least approaching as reliable as a Glock. And I think that's a good thing. I like that tech. I'm not going to argue about somebody getting a really nice, firearm that works and is uber reliable. I don't think that's a bad thing.
That is, that would be interesting to hear if they do find it reliable.
Now, when it comes to like economic efficiency, again, for a gun that is literally never going to be used in combat, it's like I guess it's nice to carry and it looks nice. And
does that matter though? They got like unlimited money.
This is true, right?
Unlimited money, John, and they don't care. Yeah, they actually need to spend it so they don't get budget cuts next year.
That's a fair point. Fair point. All right. Well, now let's get into industry drama. We're switching from Delta DevGru handguns to Osight, which is quite the dichotomy there. But okay, this is what's happening in the gun industry today. So this is from Osight talking about one of their team captain, I want to say, for their shooting team. Now, some of you guys are like, Osight has a shooting team? People like allow Osight to put their logo on their jersey? Yeah, they do. For not much money, apparently. So what shooters, gamers are really cheap whores. A lot of them. Like, you would be shocked at how little money you could give them, and they will put their logo all over their body. It's like, you want a tattoo? Like, I'll do it. Okay. Just $50 a month, $100. Like, I'll do it, bro. It's like, some of these guys are really, really cheap whores. Now, that being said, Osight decided to murk this guy for no reason at all. And I'm kind of on the shooter side because, listen, for many reasons, as we'll get into, I'm not going to take Osight's side on this, okay? I still have a little bit of pride left, and I just can't bring myself to be like, no, Osight is in the wrong or is in the right here. Screw the shooter dude, even though shooters are game. Okay, anyways, official statement from Osight. July 6, 2026, O-Site announces today, talking in the third person here, that Ashton Hammond is no longer representing O-Site as a spokesperson or captain of the O-Site shooting team and is no longer affiliated with the company in any capacity. Now, that's really harsh. Yeah. Now, this was unprompted. Like, nobody knew anything. Nobody had said anything. This was just unprompted. This is like, oh, shoot, you're like going scorched earth on this guy. He's not affiliated. He doesn't work with us in any capacity. Get rid of him. No, like fired from the team captain position, right? This is like Glock getting rid of Shane Coley and being like, by the way, we never liked that guy. That guy just sucks. Okay, he's not affiliated with us in any way. Screw that guy.
Unpersoned. Get him out of here.
And so everybody was like, well, and they turned off the comments too. It was like, well, what are you doing here? This you're being really harsh here, and we don't know anything like what this guy even did. Turns out it's basically nothing, but kind of funny. While we acknowledge his past role in representing the company on the competitive circuit, O-Site is dedicated to maintaining the highest standards of professional conduct, insinuating that he was not professional, alignment, and brand integrity across all of our sponsored programs. This action was necessary to safeguard the integrity of our brand, our values, and the community we serve. So they're like, we had to get rid of this guy to protect our community. He was a danger to our community and our values. It's like, well, to be clear, I'm not really sure what O-Site's values are. So maybe he was against their values.
Did he like one of your YouTube videos or something? Did he like an edgy meme?
Okay, so the more I read about this guy, I kind of like him because he is kind of a dick. So I'm like, I identify with this guy, right? The O-Site shooting team remains a core pillar of our commitment to the competitive community. Our roster of elite athletes will continue to receive full factory support, and management of the team's operations. Upcoming match schedule will be handled directly by our internal marketing and leadership team without interruption. We remain fully focused on delivering exceptional optics and supporting our shooters, partners, and the community. O-Site will have no further comment on this matter. Which is like, it got really hard. And again, turned off comments on this. So everybody is just like, what is going on here? Why would you do this to this guy? Now, this is Ashton Kane Hammond, which is a name that goes pretty hard. Based in Orlando, Florida, which is a competitive shooting area. And, there's... shooters are gay. Like, the top-level competitive shooters, they're so sensitive to anything. So this guy pissed off, in my opinion, a couple of the wrong people in the shooting industry because, again, egos here are insane. This is a tiny, tiny demographic of people that will blow up at the slightest slight. If you offend the wrong guy, you are going to be blackballed forever in this tiny little community, and you have this reputation that will follow you forever. This is like Gertrude saying something mean about Betty at bingo night, and everybody just getting in their little spinster circles and spreading rumors about the guy. It's so nonsensical. It's so silly over what is essentially a non-entity in the world. Nobody outside the shooting world cares about any of this. It's so retarded. So match directors and ROs have this insane ego, completely unwarranted. You're a nobody, nothing. Nobody actually cares. Just take the money and shut up. Anyways, yeah, I agree. Cody Fisher says USPSA egos might be some of the worst I've ever seen. Yeah. 100%.
It is. And so it is super funny though, because if you think about it, most people outside of the competition world, even if they are in the gun world, if they're really involved in the gun world, they might know they'll know Ben Steger, maybe they'll know Matt Pranka, and they obviously know who Jerry Michalek is.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's it. The average person who doesn't shoot guns, they don't even know competition shooting exists.
They're like, "What is that? Oh, that looks like fun."
Thing they do at the Olympics.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, I know how to do that. I'm a good shooter." But anyway, so I mean, he has an online, persona that you can go find. I think he has a channel and he does training and stuff like that. He's a pretty good shooter. He's a really good shooter, actually. I mean, compared to 99% of people, he's next level, right? Not world champion level, I don't think, but he's very, very good. So it makes sense for, a company like O-Site for like $12 to be like, hey, do you want to wear our jersey and be our team captain? And he's like, yeah, whatever, bro. I shoot guns for a living, so I'll take anything you got. So now we are reduced to in this drama-filled streams here. Okay, we are reduced to going through somebody's Instagram stories to find the meat of the matter, as we should do. So this is from 9Grenade, who is kind of a funny meme poster. I would say he's pretty good at making fun of the different types of people in, competitive shooting and whatnot. So I don't mind that at all. I think he's actually really funny and informative. So I think he's also an open GM, which is the hardest class to make GM in for sure. So what did Ashton do or not do? I have literally no idea what this is about in reference to the Osite team. Now, 9Grenade then goes on to post DMs from the Osite internal DMs when he was asked not to, which I find so funny. That the Osite media guy is just spilling his guts to this dude and is like, oh yeah, by the way, please don't post any of this. And 9Grenade is like, too late, already done, it's over. So, and then they blocked him, they unblocked him, they tried to delete a bunch of messages, they tried to like clean it all up afterwards. It's so silly, but I love it. Okay, I think it's fun to go through this. And does anyone here like Osite? Like, I have one of their optics, the new SE. It's really cheap. It's like an EPS clone for less money. It competes with the Primary Arms new enclosed classic, dot. I think it's fine.
Does it have that cool like magnetic charger thing?
No, not one of the big ones. No, those ones are those are like their first offerings, which they had so many problems with those. Like, I did not enjoy using the originals. Their new ones, like they've been getting like middling reviews, like anywhere from pretty good to just okay. So that's like they're fine. They seem to be like a cheaper Holosun alternative that kind of works, and that's fine. Many dots out there just kind of do their thing, and it's fine. They're not top tier, they're not fantastic, they just kind of work, which is where we're at with red dots. Like anything above Siley and up, they just kind of work. Sometimes you'll get a dud and they'll replace it for you, but Siley and up, they just kind of work. They just kind of do their thing. So it's really unexciting for me to talk about red dots at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, he asks the guy, what happened? And the Osite guy starts spilling his guts. So saying, regrettably, a pattern of behavior has emerged that directly contradicts our brand's core values. This includes personal conduct issues, reoccurring complaints, and a significant amount of negative feedback from key individuals within the competitive industry regarding his actions. Again, pissing off the wrong people, not going to last long in this world. PCSL belt incidents, NRA getting drunk, people get drunk. I don't know about that. Local community complaints. Now, here's the thing. He backed out of a match, which I gotta say, I hate this. I think this is so gay. So he gets into a match because an RO allows him through the waiting list. It's like, hey, here's another GM. I'll let you in through the waiting list and you'll cut like 20 people in line. Keep in mind the RO is doing this, or the match director is doing this. This is not the fault of Ashton. Ashton is not cutting the line. The match director is having him cut the line, right? He is bumping him up before 20 people on a waiting list to get him into the match. So the drama is that day of the match rolls around and it's 40 degrees outside. Ashton says, I don't want to go shoot a 40-degree match. That sounds miserable to hold on to a steel gun when it's cold, wet, windy, rainy, and I spent a lot of money. I don't want to go there and waste my time. So he doesn't go to the match. And then the match director is like, well, but I put you in front of the line. I gave you this spot. I took your money. Like, you didn't show up. That's rude of you. It's like, well, first off, I already paid for the match. Like, I don't have any obligation to go. Like, it's paid for. It's like if I pay for my reservation at a restaurant, I pay for the meal ahead of time, and I just don't go. What could possibly be immoral about just not going? You could say, oh, well, somebody else could have had that slot, but the match director is the one that put him in front of the line, not Ashton. Right? Am I crazy here? Like, if you've already paid for the match,
I
you
think
don't
the
show up.
logic, yeah, the logic
Who cares?
checks out. Yeah.
Because it's not like you pay at the match and then you don't show up, and so the match is out, $200, $300, $400, whatever it happens to be. You've already paid for it. You just decide like, oh, I don't want to go to this because it's cold outside, which is valid. Like if it's pouring rain the day of the match, and it's like, oh, do I want to drive a couple hours and waste a bunch of time and money blowing, having a terrible time? It's like, no, you can just say no. You've already given them your money. You can't get a refund at that point of time. Usually for major matches, refunds close like a month before the actual match. So it's like, they already have your money. The only thing that they're even possibly out is they're down one shooter, which actually makes their squad go through way faster. Like when shooters leave, I prefer it because it's like if I can go from 14 people in my squad to 8 people in my squad, like I'm having a good day because that means I can just shoot and then leave, right? Because I paid to shoot, so I want to shoot and then leave, right? Because that's what I'm here to do. I don't actually care. See, this is the problem though, because I don't actually care about these people. I'm here to shoot, do my thing, and I'll be very helpful. I'll paste, I'll do everything there. I'll help tear down all that. But when I'm done, I leave, right? I'm not here for the hangout. I'm not here for the boys club. I'm here to shoot.
You don't go to dinner afterwards?
With friends, sure, but not with just like, I don't care about the match director or the ROs. It's like, no, I've given you my money. I'll do all the help that you want, and then I'm gone, right? I'll go hang out with my friends, or more importantly, my family. Like, I take a lot of time away from my family to be here. I give you guys a lot of money. I want to leave. So again, a match director being pissy because you made Ashton skip in line and then he decides to not show up because it's 40 degrees outside. Spoiler alert, shooting like 12 stages in a day for like 8 hours when it's 40 degrees outside and maybe it's windy or rainy or any other combination, not very fun. So it's totally within his right to say, nah, I'll stay home today. Yeah. And again, this is the problem is these guys, they are crazy. Okay. They will take a very mild slight, like just not showing up to a match, and they'll run with it, right? Which is insane to me. I've already given them my money. It's like I have a match like 2 weeks from now. I've already given my money. So if I just don't show up, it's like they don't have to pace my targets. Like, that's fine.
Yeah, it's a win for them actually, because they make more money, they save money on pacers, they save money on targets,
they save time, like everything. Yeah, and it makes the other shooters have a faster day. Like again, but this is how petty they are. They're like, you didn't show up to my match after I moved you in and had you cut the line. How dare you? This is a personal slight to these people.
Yeah, that's silly. With the way Osite reacted, I assumed he said something about Taiwan being a country or the Tiananmen Square massacre or something. But this is much sillier.
Oh yeah. It's like, no, the other day we had a match, a guy who is a very good shooter, but he was like, I'm not feeling well. I'm going to go home. It's like, yeah, good. Like, yeah, you feel bad. Go. Like, of course. What am I supposed to do? Like, put a gun to your head and say, you can't leave my match. How dare you? It's like, no, duh.
Match director draws his pistol and puts it to your head. Where do you think you're going, buddy?
It's like, yeah, you're throwing up over there in the corner. Like, no, you're staying here, bro. You're pasting too, okay? It's like, whoa, bro, relax.
You got some stages to shoot.
But this keeps going anyway. So all mild stuff on it, blah, 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 blah. Not really mild stuff when you have an RO writing an email about the event we sponsored. Again, this is an RO, a literal nothing, nobody volunteer writing an email to somebody's sponsor because somebody didn't show up to your match. Ashton backed out of a match last minute, and I just want you to know that this is conduct unbecoming of one of your sponsored shooters. Dude, if I was ever a sponsored shooter, like I would need to be so upfront. Like, listen, I'm going to piss off everyone. You're going to get so many bad emails from USPSA match directors and ROs. Like, you're either going to have to deal with that or just never sponsor me. And also, you can't afford me. Like, there's no possible way I would ever shoot for one of these companies for like a case of ammo a month. It's like, why? Why would I possibly put myself in a worse scenario to wear your thing on a jersey? Like, I think a lot of people are excited to like, oh, I'm a sponsored shooter. That gives me pedigree. That gives me status. And it's like, oh, it's just it's so lame. It's like, imagine being paid like almost nothing to wear Osite on your chest. Like, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I wouldn't like the cheaper the company, the infinitely more money it would need to be, right?
Yeah.
Because like I'm like denigrating myself by wearing your jersey. So you're gonna have to pay me a lot of money to go through that public shaming, okay? Which again, for me is like an infinite amount of money.
Now that we know that that number is extremely low, you just got to start sponsoring shooters, and you can put like Miku on their jersey with like toes or something.
I literally could. I could have the Trip
BTM
Shooting Academy or
original,
something like that.
BTM production.
Dude, yeah, Miku and your toes are like our mascot. Something like that. Anyways, and we have people coming up to our pro shooter that we will not buy O-Sight because of Ashton. Again, maybe Ashton's just kind of a dick. Again, keep in mind that all USPSA shooters, like all of them, including myself, like we have an ego, like a really big ego, right? And now I think mine is justified sometimes when it's like, oh, I want to leave a match, I'm leaving a match. Like, why wouldn't I? But then there's the inverse of that for other people. So like they're gonna rustle some feathers. There's very few like real professionals because everybody is kind of like a dork, right? When it boils down to it, it's like we play a game and some of you guys wear like really silly like tight clothing out here and you guys take it way too seriously. Like there are so many mid-level shooters that, you know, do the GM make ready. They're insane about every detail that goes into it to have like a mid-tier performance. Like there's like, it's all right. It's like what's a good word for it or a good analogy to it? It's like club baseball or club softball, right? The guys who were never quite good enough, but they take it so seriously, like insanely seriously at all possible opportunities. It's like, I just don't think this stuff matters that much, bro. It's like we're playing club baseball, bro. It's okay.
You see it a lot in soccer too. Like I played soccer in high school, and the kids that thought they were like hot shit, they would do all the stuff they see the pros do on television, right? And like, spoiler alert, the stuff the pros do is really disrespectful and just like self-centered. And so it just makes everybody hate them a lot. And they're not that good. It's pretty funny.
The D class who throws his mags. True. Now I've thrown a mag at a match. Okay, I was frustrated with a gun's performance, so I will say that I have thrown a mag at a match before. Not at someone, fortunately. I can't have these floating around in social. Oh, anyways, so it moves forward a little bit. 9 Grenade says, "Aw, why are you deleting caps?" And have people coming to our pro shooter saying blah blah blah. And then he says, "I can't have these floating around in social media." Lol. And 9 Grenade is like sitting there twirling, you know, fiddling his fingers, and he's like, "Well, it's ironic because these are already floating around on the interwebs as we speak." And then he responds, "Good thing I recorded the first 2, lol." So Ashton got an ego and let it go to his head. Lots of small incidents added up. Eventually, match staff from a major reached out about poor behavior, and that was the final straw. Now, this is the thing. Like, I feel like I'm in the same boat with Ashton here, so I'm totally on Ashton's side. Ashton is completely correct. Kill all ROs with hammers. Okay, that's going to be my new shooting team merchandise. Is going to be like blood dripping from the white Gothic text saying like "kill all ROs with hammers" or something like that. just something so egregious and aggressive, but it would be so funny. Yeah, so he's a good shooter who made some enemies in this space, and literally everyone who's like chill or has any opinion or background or backbone, and is not part of like the boys club has had problems as a high level shooter. Like almost every single one, because the old guard, there's such stuck up nonsense going on. They take it so seriously for what is a tiny, minuscule, unimportant sport. Like it's a really unimportant sport, but you're semi good at it, and it's the only thing you've ever been good at. So you make it your entire life's personality, right?
Yeah, my favorite is the old like M class or GM guys that still shoot their same open gun from like 95, and they are they literally finish dead last every time. But
it is, yes. Well, they were a G, yeah, in 1993 in open, you know, and now they're 73, and which is fine, you know. Still go to your matches, still do that. I've met lots of fantastic older shooters at club matches, at local matches, who have never had a problem with me in any way, shape, or form, and I get along great. The only people that I ever have a problem with are like mid-tier ROs and match directors. And they're really self-conscious about that. And it's fine. It's like, it's your thing. It's your life's work. You do you, bro. Okay, this is what your entire like personal value comes from. That's all right. Anyways, after that, Osite blocked him and then unblocked him to try and delete all their messages, which I think is quite funny. So that social media guy, probably in a little bit of trouble if I had to guess. Yeah, maybe don't start blabbering private information to the first meme account that reaches out. Like, what did you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
Social
dude.
media guy.
Take some freaking notes, man. If you're going to give out information like that, at least do it for a female or something. Goodness.
Dude, yeah. Well, do you know what 9 Grenade looks like?
No.
I'll show him to you. Listen, he's a good shooter. I think he is an open GM, but he is the stereotypical open GM, that being like the big boy. Okay.
Awesome.
He's super fast in a very short distance. Okay. He's like a dwarf, where we're lethal over short distances.
I gotta follow this guy on Instagram.
He's very funny. He makes fun of all the silly guys on over there. Anyways, so let's go over to Ashton's account here, because Ashton, let me see, Glock 2JZ has his own side of the story. There it is. Okay, dude, for a second I thought he was private. Unbelievable. That'd be tragic. Okay, so let's go over here. Drop that there. Did he put it on his shoe story? He did not. Oh, did he not? Come on. He deleted it all from his story. That's okay. Fair enough.
Funny number.
Anyway, so he says, how is it possible many of you have purchased 3 to 5 Ben Steger dry fire books but aren't even M class? Many such cases. Okay, but there's a whole epidemic in USPSA as well of people who have shot for a really long time and who feel like they take it really seriously, who have not progressed at all. And so I don't know if it's like a mechanical deficiency or if it's like maybe they're actually just not capable of it. But to me, it's like, again, I made GM in 1 year, 1 month, basically identical, or right on the dot. So, I mean, it's like, it's not that complicated. Like, you kind of just do the basics at a high level and you'll eventually get there. Anyways, so Ashton responds, haha, bro, it's a game. I agree. What's your take? What happened? How did we get here? Blah, blah, blah. He responds, our partnership came to an end due to differences in expectations regarding responsibilities, compensation, meaning, like, again, the numbers are shockingly low. For most paid shooters, unless you're maybe like Eric Graffel, are insanely low.
25.
And I mean that. Like, I mean, even for like who's like the best shooter in the world probably right now, Christian Saylor, for the companies that sponsor him, it's probably not very much money. You would probably be shocked at how low the money is that the best shooter in the world actually makes from shooting. Like, he probably gets his ammo comped from his ammo sponsor, which is probably like 30 grand a year, 20 grand a year. And then he probably gets maybe another couple tens from a couple other sponsors. So it might be like 50K total a year. So you have to supplement that with, of course, obviously, with like training, with books, with your own social media, whatever else it might be. Like, the top shooter in the world gets paid like Walmart minimum wage to go out there and shoot every week, right? Or shoot every day. So again, being a top level paid sponsored shooter in the industry really doesn't matter all that much. It's not that big of a deal, guys.
Have you just quick side note, have you seen the recent trend of Instagram reels where it's like what these gun personalities would be if they weren't shooters?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like Ben is the janitor or something. In real life, it's like from his shooting, probably makes about the same money, you know. Less.
Well, no, so that's the thing. That's not true though. Because when you get into training, and this is why training is the most lucrative thing. So think about it. Ben has, let's just say if he does one training class a week, 20 students, $600 a pop. That is $12,000 per week. Ben does usually multiple classes per week. All right. So you can do the math and you can figure out where the money is in shooting, and it's in training. It's not in the actual shooting aspect of it, right? Like, if I opened a training class and I had like one training class a month, 20 people, $100, like, it would quintuple the actual money I make from shooting, right? Charging like $100 a person, like basically nothing, right? It's way more, and that would cover my entire ammo budget. Doing like one day class a month.
I'm just referring to the actual sponsorships themselves. But
Oh yeah. Well, no, it's pittance. It's nothing. And the company's direction, I had constant issues that would not be taken care of. To be clear, my departure was not related to any moral or ethical concerns on my part, but that's probably what they're using to justify it. Because the incidents were already brought up to me, the ones they mentioned in your text, and the issue is stemming from me not telling the company no and not being taken advantage of many times. Now, this is probably true because these shooting companies or these optics companies or whatever your sponsor is like, hey, can you fly out to here and do this event? And can you come out to here and do this event? And can you go demo our optics here? And you're like, oh, sure. Pay me. And they're like, we'll cover your flights and hotel. And it's like, wait, so you want me to go somewhere for 3 days and shoot for free and train for free and make $0 on it? Why would I do that? Why would I take 3 days, like even as your sponsored shooter, to go somewhere and not get paid at all? So I guarantee you, O-Site was like, hey, can you go here and demo this? Can you go here and do this event? Can you go do this and do this? And he was like, if you're not paying me, no. Because again, these guys don't get paid any money. So like, I'm trying to think. If any company was like, hey, John, can you come out here? We'll fund your hotel or your flight. But can you come out here for 3 days and do all of this work? I'd just be like, no. Like I could stay home in my room and make a lot more money, like actually providing content for like my audience rather than going out to work for you for free. Like, how does that make economic sense at all? And for these shooters, much the same thing. It's like, oh no, take time away from your family and friends to come here for free. It's like, no, go away. So anyways,
it's ironic too, because they could definitely afford to pay these people more money.
I'm sure that they could. Well, think about how much they pay out in affiliates, right?
Yeah.
Think how much they pay out in terms of like free product to influencers and all this other stuff. Like they could definitely afford to pay some of these guys more, 100%. And remember, this is the captain of the team. This isn't just like one of the team members. This is the captain of the team itself. So because the incidents were already brought up to me, blah, 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 telling the company no and not being taken advantage of many times. For instance, they expected me to train 25 VIP students in Nashville at the Glock store event for absolutely free and also giving up Area 8 the same weekend. Now, the area matches are really big matches. So they're like, hey, come out here and do a 25-person class for free, which again, 25 students, like even if you're like a mid-range, like $300 a student, that's still $7,500 that you're missing out on. So they're telling you, oh no, just come out here, do it for free and miss one of the biggest matches in your area. And you're just like, no, of course not. Of course, I'm not going to do that. And then he says, following up, look at their last 3 reps, myself, Luke Cow, David Svedny, all having nothing to do with the company anymore. Although moving on was the right decision for me, I appreciate the opportunities we shared and genuinely wish the company continued success. Look how much more professional Ashton is being, the bad guy, right? Look how much more professional he's being in separating with the company than O-Site is. The company actually lied to me and told me that they would have nothing bad to say about me when I left. Oops. Then publicly announced it as if I'm some kind of criminal and worded it to make it sound horrible. And then DM with a guy on Instagram, you, known for stirring the pot and calling people, oh, damn it, go back. Oh, I got to scroll through all the way through. I hate Instagram stories. I hate that I'm reduced to this.
Screenshots, John.
Do not question my lack of foresight, Jake. How dare you? Anyways,
quick. There you go.
I got it. Then publicly announced it as if I'm some kind of criminal, and then DM guys like you, known for stirring the pot and calling people out, tried to bash me and then backtrack and delete their messages. So it's exactly the type of people that we're dealing with. Anyways, and then the Florida shooting community doesn't particularly like him. And then he asks him about some inappropriate conduct with a female shooter that some random person is alleging. Like, I am not the believe all woman type of guy. I am also not the believe all RO type of guy or match director type of guy. So I think that these guys are insanely petty and would make up stories about anyone. But anyways, he says that he goes and does all the matches, blah, 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 blah. And he's been accused of cheating and all the other nonsense in there. But that is the entire drama between O-Site, Freudian slip there, O-Site and Ashton, their former match director, not former match director, former team captain of their shooting team. Very, very exciting. I'm sure everyone was extremely interested in that. Now, I say that as if there aren't like 800 people currently watching O-Site drama on here. So I guess it is a hot topic. I guess people were really interested in that. It really matters a lot to a lot of you guys. All right. Yeah, I did
Doesn't matter to
accidentally
me
say
at
O'Shea.
all.
No, but it is funny, right? And listen, I'll take any opportunity to dunk on USPSA now. Okay, any opportunity to dunk on match directors or ROs for being losers, like I will absolutely take advantage of that opportunity. If that's the way that we want to play games, just go ahead. We'll just do that. It'll be fine. Because again, USPSA is a meaningless nothingness of a company corporation that may not even be around in a few years. So who cares? Who cares about it? All right, now
You just lost so much social credit.
I guess. But speaking of social credit and or losing it, we have Ken Hackathorn making another wacky statement. Now, old clips of Ken Hackathorn are going to keep me fed for generations, okay? They're going to put my kids through college. We're just going to be going through old... That's right, dude. We're milking Ken Hackathorn. No, that's not right. Don't frame it like that.
Oh, no.
Anyway, sorry, I got distracted there for a moment. We are going through some of his old content and clips, talking once again about red dots and about how bad they are and his own experience with them. Yeah.
Google up air marshal qualification course. Yeah. I've not met one guy yet who's a hotshot that could pass the air marshal qual with a red dot.
So this is a joke. Then he follows up, this guy does, and he's like, you know what, guys? I can do it with a Desert Eagle. And he does it with the Desert Eagle, and he gets a perfect score.
I would like to, little anecdote, when I've done the air marshal qual before for some stuff that I did just unrelated, but one of the qualification that was used was the air marshal qual. And it does have some tight time standards for, like, you know, newer shooters. I passed it with iron sights. I am a much better shooter. Not saying it's because of having a dot, but I am much better than I was when I was shooting irons. Now using a red dot, it would be, it's not like I'm just unable to pass it now because I have a red dot. I think this clip is extremely funny.
It's the thing is, like, the air marshal qual would be difficult for newer shooters. Anyone who is mildly competent in, it's like 7 yards. Can you put a round in the A zone? It's like,
there's like 2 parts that would be difficult if you haven't done dry fire. Like,
sure,
the drawing,
from the holster,
the time standards are a little tight for someone who's never done it, but it's not that bad.
So here, I'll let this play one more time, and then we'll go through what the air marshal qual actually is.
Google up air marshal qualification course. Yeah. I've not met one guy yet who's a hotshot that could pass the air marshal qual with a red dot.
Again, absolutely insane statement, considering that's the way most professionals do the air marshal qual anyways, and that's the way most people shoot nowadays. You couldn't find one person who could pass it with a red dot. Like, you're actually insane. Or you only ever hang out or see other boomers. Like, maybe he's saying that because he's never seen anyone else ever use a red dot.
Probably.
So anyways, here are the actual stages of it. So the 1 round, 2 repetitions from concealment, 3.3 seconds.
It's not bad.
So this is a 1.6 second draw, which, Jake, what's the standard? Or Richard, what's the standard for a draw?
I'm going to guess.
It's about 1 to 1.2 seconds. Like, that's a good draw time. Keep in mind, we're at, like, what, 7 yards at this point in time. So you have to put 1 round on target in 1.6 seconds, which, again, average draw, like good par time for a draw, 1 to 1.2 seconds. So this is not even like high level. This is way above the par time. This is giving you extra time from the par time.
Yeah.
Now,
also,
the rest of these,
the way this works is if you have a bad draw and you're like 1.8 or 1.9, your second, you just have to come in. The total time has to be less than whatever the time is. What did you say? 3 seconds?
3.3.
3.3. So your total time
you can do a 1.8. You can do a 1.8 and a 1.4. Like a 1.4 is not very fast. A 1.4 is grab, bang. That's it. It's, you can do it like you could slow motion this draw basically and still pass.
Which, again, for someone who doesn't dry fire at all, has never drawn their gun from their holster, they're probably not going to be able to make that time. Honestly.
Yeah. Again, this gives you time for aiming. Like it really does. You're not even like flashlight picturing it like, oh, red on brown, pull the trigger. It's like dots in the middle, bang. So double tap. So this is 2 rounds each from the low ready position. So not even a draw, 2.7 seconds. Now, I would be shocked if you guys could not do this in under 2 seconds, because it's literally bang, bang. Do it again. Bang, bang. It is so slow, right? It gives you lots of time to shoot reactively, to shoot correctively even. You know, it is not difficult to do. 6 rounds, 1 target, 1 time. From the low ready, 3 seconds. Now, gentlemen, a bill drill from a holster, the gold standard is 2 seconds. So from the low ready, no draw, giving you basically a full extra 1.5 seconds almost. Like that's a really slow cadence. You can almost pass this with 50 like 0.5 second splits. Bang, 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 bang. Like you can almost do it that fast. It is very slow. 1 shot, reload 1 from the low ready, 6.5 seconds. Again, hard time for this should be about 3. So you can't, you still have about a 0.5 second here. So that's, again, no draw involved. So actually probably like 2.5 seconds is probably a good par time with no draw. So literally up, bang, grab mag, in, bang again. Lots of time. 1 round, 2 targets, 3 yards apart from the low ready, 3.3 seconds. So again, they're giving you almost a second of split time between 2 targets, which is a lot. 180-degree pivot, and then 1 shot at all 3 targets. From concealment, doing it twice, 3.5 seconds each run. Actually, you know what's funny is GBRS did fail the Air Marshal Qual. I forgot that we took a look at that video and they failed the Air Marshal Qual. So again, it's not difficult. No. None of these things are difficult. I don't need to go through the entire thing. You guys get it.
It is ironic, though, that this is one of the hardest pistol qualifications for any federal agency. So
it's the one, right? It's if you talk about a hard, if you talk about a hard pistol qual, it is the Air Marshal Qual.
Yeah,
that's all they have.
And it's like not like if all law enforcement were subject to this, I think that would be good. I think it would probably be a lot harder of a standard than whatever they have right now. But there's still so much room for improvement. This should be like baseline. In my mind, people who carry daily, this should be the baseline. You should be able to do this. I would love to see everybody who carries a gun be able to do this.
Yeah, no, this would be great. This is like most shooters, if they were able to do this, we'd be in a much better spot. If all police officers could do this on demand, right? Not even warmed up, just on demand, like we'd be in a really good spot. Be very happy. Be very happy with that. All right. Now, moving on from air marshals, what about Delta? Delta's a little bit different. And speaking of Delta, we have our loving accountant, one of our own. Okay, he's been on the show. We've talked, we've met. He's a nice guy. Okay, but he also got featured in Spec Ops magazine. This is Matt Pranka, or Matt Danka, if he's currently in the chat with us right now. So I saw this getting passed around that we have one of our own making the cover of Spec Ops magazine, and probably deservedly so. Now, the funny thing, the reason why I like this picture more is because if you take away the gear, right? This is just like your accountant. You know, this is like your dentist with the 1,000-yard stare, right? This just looks like normal bro, like normal dog number 421 or whatever it is.
Yeah, the Norwood situation.
As a Norwood 5, it's fine, dude. I'm about to be there with you, bro.
He's just a dude. I love Matt Pranka. I think he's funny. I think he's hilarious. Also, he's Meet the Hop, which is just a bonus for me. But,
it is very funny. He looks sober here. Yeah, probably more sober here in full gear, I would imagine. Yeah, he has gotten a little redder as he's gotten older. But yeah, he just looks, it's just one of the dudes. Like, this is him in his happy place, which is in some plane heading somewhere. And quad rail 416 spotted. Unbelievable. And this is the funniest one, because this is probably towards the end of his career, but you can see he's filled out a little bit more. But just bros being bros, living in the moment, getting featured in Spec Ops magazine. So Matt, former U.S. Army Delta Force operator and combat veteran, his road to the unit is one of the more unusual ones you'll come across. Matt started in the Navy as a SARC, a Special Amphibious Reconnaissance Corpsman, the elite medical operations who support Marine special operations before crossing over to the Army to join Delta. By the time he made that jump, he was already a senior NCO in E8, and switching services while keeping your rank to go to CAG takes a general's signature to make that happen. Few men have worn both of those communities. These days, Matt is one of the more visible former operators in the training and competitive shooting world, running his X-Ray Alpha platform and breaking down marksmanship and CQB for a wide audience. See, I don't think Matt actually breaks down CQB. I just think he yells at people who do or who do a bad job. You know, that's his thing. It's like when he sees somebody post something retarded, he'll call them out for it and go after them for it. I don't think he actually runs through CQB at all. I don't think he's ever once like explained how to do CQB. He just tells idiots how not to do it.
I have seen videos of him mocking idiots who do CQB.
Yes,
where he's like dancing around with the rifle.
Many good videos,
Very
prancing
funny.
around. And dude, I wish we could show guns on YouTube more, because there's been so many people who, thank you by the way, who have been sending me clips of like training companies. Again, this is the grift. Okay, I need to start a CQB training company because I could do anything. I could do literally anything, and people will eat it up. Because I was seeing like, you know, training seminar with like a bunch of likes going through and doing just the most retarded stuff I've ever seen, and somehow having a paying audience for that type of content. Like, that's the ultimate grift. I just need to get into like CQB stuff and just make up my own jargon. Why not? Like,
Well,
who's going to
John,
stop me?
That's the power of acting like you know what you're doing, or knowing that you think you know what you're doing. And if you have that confidence, people will pay you money for it.
It's true.
Pretty amazing.
He's known for his blunt, no-nonsense instruction backed by a resume most people in the space can't touch, pedigree, and for being willing to say plainly that a standard at the top is far higher than most shooters realize. A reminder that the knowledge earned at the tip of the spear doesn't have to retire when the operator does. So I hope that he does. That'd be fun. If he actually is on the cover of Spec Ops magazine, or he makes one of the articles, I'm going to buy that article just to have it, or buy that magazine just to have it. I think that would be funny. Just like hang it up in my background, get a big cutout, get a big cardboard cutout of like this picture of Matt Pranka back there. And just like every stream, like decorate him a little bit differently, like make a Christmas version of him, make a Halloween version of him, you know, just sitting in the background for every stream. I think that would be very funny. Oh, no, not a Hanukkah version. For some reason, get him to sign it. Ooh, that could be good.
If it was at all possible, John, I think we have to get another Pranka, Brass Facts, Hop, and Trench Grenade stream.
Okay, so I did ask Matt to come back on. We had a little conversation and he left me on red. So it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think we're at that level yet where I can just be like, hey, are you free on Friday? You know, you want to come on one of my shows? So I'll ask him again, you know, and I might just get left on red forever. You know, it might be one of those permanent friend zone situations, but I'll try and make it happen.
You gotta lure him in. Maybe get like Ben on as well. You can lure him in that way.
Well, that's the thing though. It's like if I can't just waste their time. Like, I don't want to just waste their time. It's like I could get Ben back on. I could get some of these other guys on, but I have to have something to talk to them specifically about. You know, I don't want to just like, oh hi, yeah, I know you're really busy doing the training and the Delta CAG, you know, testing and stuff, but hey, can you come on my show for an hour and just like have retards ask you really stupid questions?
We can think of something.
We have to have something. All right. 509 says, why have we not gotten a response to Trench and GT's videos? Because they're small unit tactics, like straight from the handbook. What am I supposed to respond to? Like, I literally have nothing possible to respond to. Right? Am I crazy? Like, it's just like, I'm not a military guy. I have no comment on drill instructor teaching tactics to students. Like, I don't know.
Also, you're like, yeah, dude, put like the box with the stick under it, you know, and the string goes in there for the Coors Light. Just falls
no, it's not a Coors Light. What does he like? He likes because he's Irish. What's the one? It is Guinness. Yes, yes, it is. That's the one that I've seen.
I thought he drank what's it called? Ultra, Michelob Ultra. I feel like I've seen him drinking that.
It's possible.
But the guy asking about the GT Trench video, you're the only person who still remembers that video is a thing.
No, there's a lot of videos.
I totally forgot
like
about
20 videos back to back. Dude, I can't talk about it yet. But I have so much more info on that. I had the most wonderful conversation with people in the know, and it was so good, but I can't talk about it yet. Man, someday I would love just to release like an 1.5-hour phone call, but that's never gonna happen. I'm sorry, guys, you're never gonna hear it, but it's so funny. There's so much like good little pieces in there that they can make their own little videos on like hundreds of these little pieces. It's fantastic. But if maybe in the future, okay, there could be something more in the vein of a it's not even a GT thing or a trench thing. It's like a encompassing industry thing. It's so good. Maybe. Okay, maybe if I die, I'll release the files. Okay, I'll have that set up in my will. If I ever die, like put this file online, just send it and forget it. Okay, whatever happens. Just push the upload button. I'll have it sitting like on my YouTube channel unlisted, and I'll be like, I'll tell my wife, like, if I ever go, just make it public, and I'll just
switch.
That's dude, true. I'll threaten. I'll like hit up GT. Listen, if you don't change your attitude, we're gonna have to upload this video or something like that. I don't know.
I mean, that's how Epstein got out of prison, and he's still alive today, is because he had that. True. You know, so it might work for you too.
And then send them to me. No, Task Force Tater. I would be very afraid of you actually publishing it. Oh dear!
Just but anonymously leak, you know.
No, it can't be anonymous because it's pretty obvious where it comes from if I'm part of it. So it's like, Anyways, let's move on, shall we? So that actually took us way longer than I thought it would. Who knew that O-Site drama could carry us through for an 1.5 hours?
Yeah, you said there was no gun news this week, and I think by my estimation, we've been talking about gun news for an 1.5 hours. So.
Yeah, but it's like silly stuff, you know. But I mean, I always stretch out drama. I'm good at, really reaching in there and stretching out the drama, so to speak, to make it last.
Okay. All right. That was really good.
You didn't like my visual aid there of stretching?
No, I actually hated that.
A little bit of PTSD there for you?
No, I just hated it.
I just hate it, okay? All right, let's get to your guys' support, and then we're going to get into Rage Bait. I will show this as a little teaser, though. You guys remember when we talked about Plattner and what's the other guy, David's Hogg, campaigning for, what is it, senator? And anyways, turns out, he probably, diddled a girl, and it's like shocking that the male feminist is actually a terrible person.
Who, David Hogg?
Well, not David Hogg, the Plattner, the guy that he was appearing with. Although, I'm not saying anything definitively, but possibility.
Or defamatory, even.
No, not that. Okay. Allegedly, he raped a girl. Anyways, Sabardic Psycho, member for 15 months, says, best friends with John for 15 months. Aw, thank you, Sabardic Psycho. In your, mildly threatening ways that I'm never quite sure if I'm in danger or not. 9x19 for $20 says, Big Toe Money Monday, free Dugan. Christ is king. Christ is king. Thank you very much.
Oh, shit, nigga.
Wrong one.
Honey, this is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. Hey, Jake Money, Big Toe Money. This is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. My feet feel good, your feet where they should. Y'all just sitting in the grass with a cigarette. Jake Money, Big Toe Money, that's a bigger check. Walking in, everybody's.
Heck yeah, dude! I need to make a new one with the new Big Toe Money song, because I think that song goes so hard. Polly B for 5 says, guys, you're missing the World Cup. America is losing. Don't you care? Who are we playing? Did we lose? Did we win?
Belgium, which is actually disgraceful if we lose to them.
Well, Belgium did beat us, so we lost in the round of 16. Sad day. What do the Belgians make? The Scar? Garbage.
The Belgians? Waffles, I think.
Grug Holabunga for 2 says, running on color people time. They're called colored people. Get it right. This is 2026. Thank you, Grug. Graham Bergdorf for 2 says, at work after vacay getting 2.5 time, making take my dollars based at work 2.5 time. Nice. Heck yeah.
Only $2? I'm just kidding.
Just shame him. You're getting 2.5x on work and you're only sending me $2. Listen, bro.
kidding.
Okay, I may have an ego, but not that much of one. Jeez. Atramentar for 2 says, it's Gargantuan Howlux Currency Monday. That's a lot of
English.
words right there. Okay, is Howlux another word for toes? What's Howlux? A person's big toe. Hey, Gargantuan Howlux Currency Monday. That's base. Thank you, Atramentar.
It's kind of redundant, isn't it?
If we get a Howlux check on
No.
Richard.
We're not doing
On Richard,
Howlux.
not on you, Jake. We need a
Oh.
Howlux check on Richard.
Yeah, I'm here.
Artistic Endeavor Survive says Aunt actually had a massive heart attack, was on total life support, but through God's grace, she's breathing on her own, tube out and awake, still fighting. Very based. I'm glad to hear that. Dude, that was quite a shock at the beginning of that to come down from talking about people's Howluxes to my aunt had a massive heart attack. But I am very glad that she is doing well and fighting through it. Heart attacks are never fun. My father's had a couple of heart attacks, so I know what you're going through, man. Thank you, Autistic Endeavors. Appreciate that, man. Praying for your aunt. Dillweed for 5 says, why you showing fair blouches on stream, man? Listen, okay, if you don't experience this woman's truth and if you deny her lived reality, then I'm sorry, but you just don't belong in this community, young man. Thank you, Dillweed.
I think she needs to be denied food.
True. Fat Camp. Lightspore for 2 says average second lieutenant, to be honest. Possibly. Thank you, Lightsport. Polly B for 5. God has a special providence for fools, drunkards, and American military service members. Otto von Bismarck, paraphrase. That's true. Thank you, Polly B. It's actually a base quote. Thank you, Polly B. Doc the Augutist for $10 says, officially became a boomer today. My first grandkid was born. He was 9 pounds, 6 ounces. Big boy. I can't wait to tell him to pull himself up by his bootstraps, dude. I should have said you should have pulled yourself out by your bootstraps, okay? That's what you say to the duck. Like, listen, okay, he's got to learn to pull himself out by the cord, you know?
Incredibly based, Doc Og. That's also not how generations work. But
not quite. But listen,
I appreciate
being a boomer. Being a boomer's in here, okay? It's not just a number, okay? Age is just a number, but being a boomer is in here. All right, Doc? But no, hey, we need more base grandparents, okay? Sniff the Mustard Gas for 5 says currently on the way to Taco Bell to make mustard gas with bear dogs with them wrapped around the pedal next to a 20 gauge with 30 wax slugs itching to smoke a random nutria rat.
Bro.
Wow.
Who are you?
Wow.
What are you smoking right now, dude?
Hopefully some nutria rats. Duh.
Also, I hope you tried the new Enchilito from Taco Bell.
Is it good?
Right.
Can we get a review on stream?
So it's all right. I think it's too much money. If it was like $2.99, $1.99 even, I think it'd be awesome. But I think it's a little too much money for what it is. But it's still a nice little change up of the regular Taco Bell menu.
Why do you want to smoke these guys? They look so cute. I get that they're probably pests in your area, but still. Sag. Soap McBeer for 20 says, ask Pranka about linear assaults. There are some cases in combat that tier 1 units like CAG, Dev, Gru, SAS want a handgun over a rifle. I can't recall the individual, but I remember seeing a retired operator mentioning this. Well, I would say it's also probably difficult to take operators from different eras and try to compare them against the modern era, right? Because there were things that they did in the 70s, 80s, and 90s that are, you know, we used to do that. We stopped doing that for a reason, right? So you kind of learn from the mistakes of the past. So again, just it's like somebody who has like Vietnam experience talking about how they did patrols or how they did, you know, rifle qualifications or whatever it might be, is like, that's useful for a historical context, but not useful for like a proactive, like this is what we ought to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I've heard of guys leading with a pistol for very niche cases. I've also heard, you know, interviews with special operations guys who are talking about how they only carry 2 extra mags and no pistol because at certain times they're very concerned about weight, whatever it may be. So I don't think there's
I've heard people say wacky things. So
Yeah.
I've heard there was one guy who was saying something like, for every rifle mag, he carries a pistol mag. Because the idea is that if you lose your primary and you have swapped to your secondary, that is now your primary. So whatever your ammo capacity was before, you need the same ammo for your secondary, which is like, okay, quite the opposite. Total opposite end of the spectrum of what you just said, but some people do that. So individual cases are like interesting anecdotes, but not super useful. But speaking of super useful, we have something that Jake loves.
You don't get to ask those questions. What's wrong with you, Mom? Why are you so scared?
I forgot about that clip. Thank you, Soap.
It's been a while.
It's been a while since I saw your toes. Romans 8:1 says Antramentar for 2. God bless, Christ is King. Well, God bless you, good sir. Let me pull that up real fast. I do not have that memorized. Let's see.
Romans is a good book.
You know what,
Everyone
Jake?
should
There's
read it.
a book that has a lot of good books inside of it. It's called the Bible. Maybe you should try it sometime.
The Bible is a library of books, Jonathan.
Well, yeah, but would you call it an anthology series or would you call it a compendium?
John, I speak English, all right?
No, you speak Greek. What are you talking about?
I don't speak Greek. I read it a little bit, and I'm working
a little bit. Okay, well, here, Romans 8:1. Therefore, there is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. Thank you very much, Antramentar. And thank you very much to those guys who are over there on Ko-Fi, Apps Blue Ribbon. Appreciate it, sir. We'll get to you guys in just a second. Soap McBreer for another 10 says, why wouldn't they want every mechanical advantage in terms of trigger weight compensation? A look up tubular assaults. Thanks for the live streams. Makes my work days fly by. Okay, well, fine. I will, under your $10 question, I will look up tubular assaults. What the heck is a tubular assault?
You like assaulting tubes, Mr. Soap McBreer 7?
Oh, are they talking about pistols inside of a... planes and buses. But even here, the footage that I'm seeing is they're still using rifles.
You know who knows a thing or two about bus assaults?
I found it. Israeli tubular assaults, they're all using pistols.
I was going to say, you know who knows a thing about tubular assaults is Benjamin Netanyahu, actually. He's famous for being a part of some
gosh, I wish I could show this on screen.
Operations.
I think I can. I'm going to try and make this work. Please don't zoink me, Zatube. So here is Israeli Tubular Assault ISI Training Center. So I think this might be what you're referencing, but all of the other modern footage that I saw was them running like 10.5 and 11.5 ARs. So this is them, and they are, oh my gosh. We don't do this, right? This is meme nonsense tactics. I'll make it a little smaller here so you can see they're like, person, clearing like one by one, just walking down the middle. Yeah.
There was a very famous hijacking incident. This is just totally anecdote. Famous hijacking
with
incident.
Their Korth revolvers
in Israel, and Benjamin Netanyahu was involved in the raid on an airplane.
No, I thought you were talking about the German incident, because there was an incident where the operators cleared the plane with their German Korth revolvers. Like that's what they're famous for. You remember that?
Yeah, I know about the revolver thing, but this was an Israeli thing where a plane was landed in an Israeli airport, or it was hijacked on the tarmac at an Israeli airport. And Benjamin Netanyahu was involved in the raid on that aircraft.
Interesting. Why are you so, just curious why you're so into Israeli history?
Because I listen to Daryl Cooper's Martyr Made podcast, and everyone should go give him a listen because he has some really great episodes about history, the lesser talked about portions of history. It's worth a listen.
I know
what were you saying, Richard?
I know that Netanyahu's brother was involved in the raid on the airport in Entebbe when they had hijackers take the airplane and they landed in Africa.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I just know about BB's specific Mr. What's his actual name? Milikowski or something? Milanowski?
Yeah, Milikowski. Mahalski? Mike Mahalski? BB Mahalski? It's all coming together, bro. Mr. 9x19 says, OSI gonna sponsor the 375-pound Instagram Foyd right now. Dude, it's crazy to think that she is 4 times the appropriate weight of a woman. Thank you, Mr. 9x19. I Sniff Mustard Gas for 2 says, thoughts on the MKE ammo? Curious about their 5.56 MKE ammo. I have no thoughts on MKE ammo. Is it good? Is it cheap? Like, I've had some issues with reloads in the past. It's like every now and again, I've tried like 3 or 4 different reloaders, and I always have like one issue here and one issue there. And I'm like, I'm saving like 1 penny a round. Like I should just go buy factory stuff again. You know, like it's not worth it.
I used the MKE 308. It was a little smoky, a little dirty.
Oh, okay. Is it just the rebranded overseas stuff? It's the Turkish ammo. Yeah. So it's like the same stuff you're going to get from like, what's the other one? Like SVT or like Patriot Sports or some of these other ones. Like they're all kind of rebranded the same stuff. So it's probably fine. But again,
SVT,
it's like,
I think SVT is Czech.
Is it Czech? Yeah, but they're all like overseas manufactured, like inexpensive. Like there was a case of Igman floating around back in the day that was blowing rifles up. So every now and again, just got to be careful. Thank you, Ice and Buster Gas. Base camp training for 2 says I volunteer as a Focus Trip sponsored athlete. That'd be funny. It would be funny. I mean, honestly, I would just have Weekend Gunner make them all for me, and I would pay him like, you know, I would pay. Ironically, I would pay him more to make all of the sweatshirts and jerseys than I would pay the actual shooters.
I think this is actually, this is a valid strategy, John. You know,
100%.
once all social media just totally like shadow bans you, you're gonna have to get the word out somehow.
Have like links to my website, QR codes, just on the jerseys, like scan me. Thank you, Basecamp. I appreciate that. You'll be my number 1. Mr. Noom for 10 hour. John, how much to get my company name, my ex-wife's face, and Jake's toes on a shirt for you to wear? It matches. Name your price. Okay, well, do you want me to design it or do I have to have somebody pay for it? So the price is really simple, okay? Because I think this will be funny. $100 plus the cost of whatever it is that I'm wearing. Pretty simple, right? And I would absolutely wear that it matches because it'd be super funny. Like, again, I don't really take it seriously. So if it's funny, if it's a joke, if it's a gag, if it brings you joy and you just want to, like, I'll have somebody like, hey, I need you to record me third person for this stage so that I can send the footage to Noom. It'd be very funny. So I would absolutely do it. Yeah, why not? It'd be funny. You honestly wouldn't even have to pay me. It's a funny gag. Like I would do it anyways. Thank you, Mr. Noom. Lightsport for 2 says, more importantly, what's this nerd's bench press? Which one? The big guy? That's a good question. Well, the big guys can cheat because if you're just like really fat, it actually reduces your range of motion. So it's called a buff. Thank you, Lightsport. Cody Fisher for $20 says shillings for a massive Pranka statue. That would be not a statue, but a cardboard cutout. I don't think we're on statue type money. Statues are crazy expensive.
Kill yourself, faggot. Money, this is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. Hey, take money, big toe money. This is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. My feet feel good, your feet where they should. Y'all just sitting in the grass with a cigarette. Take money, big toe money. That's a bigger check. Walking in, everybody's.
Here is Yonatan Netanyahu. This is allegedly Bibi's brother who died in the operation.
Yes.
That's funny. It's that meme with the anime guy saying, no, it should have been me. That was Bibi.
Yeah, they did a whole movie about this.
Of course,
the raid itself was actually pretty smart. The way they did it was the African basically the Royal Guard used a specific type of black Mercedes for their shuttling around the VIPs and such, right? So they basically brought in a couple of these same black Mercedes and dropped them off on the tarmac and put the guys in them and rolled right up in there and then hopped out and like, surprise.
Yeah,
but he was the only death.
So the Benjamin Netanyahu thing I was talking about, he served in Sayeret Matkal, which is like one of the Special Forces units, and he was shot in the shoulder during the 1972 Sabina Flight 571 hijacking rescue. So that's what I was referring to. So both of them, I guess, were shot during a hijacking rescue. Weird. Why are people stealing these Israeli planes? What are they?
Crazy.
What are they going to do with them? Wrong.
Zanico for 5 says super late, had to start back to school shopping. Unfortunately, Kohl's doesn't sell 6 ARC barrels. in context, that's very strange, Zany. I hope you understand that talking about back to school shopping and rifle barrels is a very odd combination of things. Thank you, Zany. Okay, we're watching you. If you start tuning out, hair gets a little too long, we're on to you. We've got you, okay? Thank you, Zanico. Dillweed for 10 says extra 10 for not showing Fate Batties on stream.
I think he's saying fat bitches, maybe.
Yes.
But I did show.
Yeah, I mean, is this like some...
I'm confused, Dillweed. I mean, thank you for the 10. That is very generous of you, but...
This is reverse psychology, John. He's trying to get more.
He's the only guy that's like, oh yeah, here's $10 for showing me that. That's terrible. Don't show me anymore, John. Please, no more oversized women.
I'm not sure, but I think he may have been the one who said, "Ew, gross. What's her name? I need to know for research purposes."
Dillweed.
No.
Zunico for 2 says Christ is King. Deuteronomy 25:11 through 12. All right, this is our Bible reading section of the stream, which is the best part of the stream, of course. Excuse me, are you kidding me? If two men are fighting and the wife of one of them comes to rescue her husband from his assailant and she reaches out and seizes him by his private parts, you should cut off her hand, show her no pity. Mega based, okay? Because women suck at this. They're awful at this, right? If you're in a fight with somebody else and your girl tries to grab your arm or something to stop you from fighting, you're just putting your guy at a disadvantage. Stop doing that. Now, I imagine here, if you grab him by his dick, it's going to be even more disadvantageous, okay? So hand comes off immediately. No more hands for you. Mega based. Once again, Christian W. Thank you, Sandy.
I just would love to know what the case law scenario was for this in Deuteronomy. What led to this?
That is so funny. No, it's one guy who's complaining. It's like me and Bartholomew got into a fight the other day, and my wife came out to try and stop me and grabbed my dick. Okay, Moses, and I need you to figure out what the punishment should be. And Moses is like, what? Cut off her hand. Because obviously that's what a lot of these punishments are. They set the max super high, but they never actually have to do that, right? That's just the maximum punishment that they're allowed to do.
So Samson lost all of his strength because his hair got cut off. Did she not try to grab him by the dick? That might have worked.
I don't know how that's analogous, but it was very funny.
Interesting analogy.
Earl Weezer, member for 12 months, says, "Can we have a 15-minute restriction just him?" Yeah, it's starting right now, bro. We're just gonna have him talk about Samson and Delilah's dick. Thank you. We're just gonna have him read Deuteronomy and explain it, but just really badly, right? So he's gonna read a chapter and then he's gonna just try and explain it in context, and it's going to be pure comedy. Oh, anyways, DC for 2 says nothing, drops it on the table, walks away. Appreciate that, treating me like a stripper, whatever. Lightsport for 2 says, hey, I'm the original Sevatar PFP. Change yours. Yeah, I know. You guys are competing. It's funny. Thank you, Lightsport. Mitspot for 5 says, look up Malfunction Training's smart dummy rounds. Oh no. Smart dummy rounds for a good laugh and a good thing that is no longer made. Okay. Snap caps versus dummy rounds. It doesn't really pop up. Smart dummy round. All I'm getting is... I don't see that. I see dummy rounds, but they're just rounds with a plastic tip, without any.
Did you search it smart, with periods in between each letter?
I'll add the period for you, okay?
By the way, guys, I got some delicious high chews right now. I've got the variety pack of strawberry, grape, and green apple. Let me know in the chat if you like Hi Chew.
Oh, he sent it to me. Okay, never mind. I'm guessing I can send this on stream. I can show this on stream.
Are Hi Chew's base, guys?
You're pretty based.
Round.
Thanks, John.
The Smart Dummy Round. The revolutionary tool for malfunction training. Never before has it been possible to train for multiple types of malfunction during live fire training. Now, using the Smart Dummy Round, spontaneous and realistic malfunctions can be simulated during training. This allows unprecedented levels of malfunction resolution skill to be developed. Realistic, selectable, live fire spontaneous malfunction.
Why? Why would you do that though? I do also find it strange that some people are so obsessed with the idea of malfunction clearing training that it's all they do, right? And they're like really good at malfunction clearing, but not really good at actually shooting. But couldn't you just accomplish the exact same thing with like, I don't know, an empty case?
You could accomplish the same thing with a 22 conversion kit because they're not very reliable.
Yeah,
So-
but the function clearing is a little different though, right?
Is that
No.
round able to induce like bolt override or whatever specifically, or
Have you ever
very
seen a bolt
specific-
override?
No, I'm just wondering if
I've
it is
never seen
able to
that.
induce that specifically.
I've seen double feeds. It did a double feed and a failure to feed, and I think that's the most common ones. So I mean, like, whatever.
The worst malfunction that I've ever seen was where it tried to double feed, but the top round went above the gas key.
That's a
Yeah,
bolt
that's the bolt
override.
override. That's the worst one.
I have seen that one time.
Leafy guy, you guys are unlucky. You guys are having real.
And that
bolt
sure is a
override.
bitch to fix if you've never dealt with it before.
Yeah, it's called mortar really, really hard.
No.
Yeah, that's how you fix a bolt override. What are you talking about?
Yeah, the ROs look down on that when you're doing that.
You're supposed. I believe the proper way to fix a bolt override is to actually reach in and push your bolt forward, like extend it out of the carrier, and then the round will come out.
Kickstart? I thought you did mortar. Maybe I've never seen one, so maybe
you
I'm
don't-
crazy.
You don't
but
mortar
I thought,
it,
whatever, guys.
John. If you had a bolt override right now, you'd be dead in the streets.
Dude, I'm
Okay?
about to bolt override you, and you're gonna have to figure out how to clear it.
Yo.
Yo, no,
Pause.
Naughty Impertinent for 2 says MKE 9mm sucks. Had a few case separations. Yeah, if you're saving like a penny, who cares, dude? Chuckster for 2 says, will we see staccato over 5 stacks before GTA 6? It's going to be close because again, the XC is already 45, 46. So the HD 5X or whatever they're going to call it, it's going to be real close to that. Real close to that. Oh, this is interesting. Sinastral says, my theory is people who practice malfunction clearing that much actually end up damaging their guns to make them more likely. That is funny. It's, I don't know, guys, maybe I don't even run like nice rifles all the time, but the only failures I like ever get nowadays is if it's an adjustable like gas gun and I'm shooting like light ammo without a suppressor and I get failures to feed. I very, very rarely get malfunctions ever. Even in like handguns, I'll have parts failures every now and again, but malfunctions extremely limited.
The
Extremely
malfunctions
rare.
I
I
run
don't know.
into are all ammo related. Light strikes, hard primers, rounds pushed back into the case. Like that's what I run into most.
Yeah, I don't
over
get
on-
malfunctions because I simply don't believe that they're real, and
True.
that's pretty much kept me safe.
My package, or sorry, Jarrett over on 5 says my package from 308 Supremacist arrived and it surprisingly did not contain anthrax. I'll catch the rest at work tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone. Christ is king and God is good. Thank you very much, Jarrett. I'm glad you did not receive anthrax. Bushmaster for 5 says, can I please get the clip of the guy yelling really loud. Well, watch out, headphone users. This one is a doozy. It's over now, Jake. You can put it back on. Where did it go? There it is. That one's always good. Hey, he says, that is all. God bless Haas. Well, thank you very much, Bushmaster. I appreciate it, sir. All right. Let's get over to Ko-Fi. Over on Ko-Fi, Tarke, our resident furry gentleman. Actually, I have to know, Jake. All right. In this sort of moral triage here that we're forced with, we have a transgender individual, we have a furry individual, we have a gay dude, and we have what's another one? An OG dude, okay, like a bullpup enthusiast. What is the level in which we need to take corrective actions?
I think the most harsh punishment should be doled out to the transgender individuals because
corrective action, not punishing. We're just corrective actions.
Corrective action. That's the right word I was looking for, John. Just because, they are going against God's design and oftentimes surgically altering themselves, which is very problematic. To my knowledge, I don't know of any furries who are surgically altering themselves, i.e. attaching a tail or ears to their top of their head. But if they were doing that, I'd put them in the same tier. So I would say transgenders, furries, homosexuals, they can be re-educated, I think. I think with enough electric shock therapy. They have
some new therapy methodologies that involve, electricity or something like that.
Yeah. And then the OG users, other than Doc OG, whatever his name is, he's okay. But all the other ones, I think they go on the Antarctic expedition. We'll just send them off and whatever happens to them happens.
Yeah. I think I agree with that list.
Can we get a pass for Coco? I mean, he does work for Steyer, so
no, especially not Coco. Coco does not get a pass. He gets extra harsh.
Coco actually goes to the top of the list. But he says, thanks to you, that song has been stuck in my head all week. I'm like Goku, Dragon Balls, about to Kamehameha all over these walls. That is such that song is so good. It's so catchy. He did such a good job with it. Thank you, Tarke. I appreciate that. Return to Christ, but I love you regardless. Breakfast Paladins for 3 says, what's better, M81 or multicam, and why is it M81? It's always M81. Thank you, Breakfast Paladin. I appreciate that. M81 is like the only color that I have like a full set in too. So it's M81. Pauly B for $20.
Money, this is a song of the summer shit. It's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. Hey, take money. Told money, this is a song of the summer shit. It's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. My feet feel good, your feet where they should. Y'all just sitting in the grass with a cigarette. Take money, big toe money, that's a bigger check. Walking in, everybody.
There we go. All right, Pauly B for 20 says 17 minutes late. You were watching soccer, weren't you, John? No, I have not watched a single millisecond of soccer footage this year, unless it's an edit of that Norwegian guy like doing things to brown people and calling it football in your head. I bet. Give the boys what they want, a big toe money, and may God receive Gort's soul and may he rest in peace. A moment of silence, if you may. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Pauly B. And yeah, Godspeed to Gort and to his family out there. Oh, all right. The Last Bean over on Ko-Fi says, off topic, I bought the 1.5 to 12 PLX-C, the new Primary Arms Compact MPVO. I paid for confirmation bias. Please give it to me, John. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And the ward mount I bought for it is too long. Is there a special mount for these, or did I just buy one mount that doesn't work? Well, you just got to note the ring distance. So some mounts have a really long ring distance and some are really short, but because the PLX-C, by virtue of it being the compact version, is really short. So you need the shorter mount to fit in between the actual tube section of the optic. So that's just kind of unlucky on your part. I like the worn mounts other than that. They're not going to work for something like that. All right. Sir Gas Mask for 3 says, praying for Krebs and his family. Absolutely. Pabst Blue Ribbon says, Caroline Levitt has a boomer inside her. Is she 28 married to a 65-year-old man? Or is she
That's
38 married to a 75-year-old man? I forget the numbers. But yeah, she's talking about like young people in this country really just they're looking for handouts and whatnot. And it's like, you literally live off of some boomer's dime. What are you talking about? You have a literal sugar daddy, okay? And
You're
we're out
living
here
off of
like
Social
fighting for
Security.
scraps. Yeah. Oberg switching on says for $20. Damn, son says, let me get some nuttin' fancy.
Damn. And I think it's retarded and gay. Okay.
Thank you very much, Oberg switching on. That is very base of you. You are quite welcome. Thank you for the 20. Frog Commander for 3 says, howdy, fellas. Hope you all have a good night. Hope you have a good night, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for hanging out. And then Old-ish Arrows for $10 says, why was that guy dropped from O-Site? Well, we talked about it for almost an hour. So if you roll back to about the 30-minute mark, you'll be filled in quite effectively, I would say. So go back to the 30-minute mark, and I can't recount it here. Essentially, he was a big meanie. He was a big poo-poo head, and he wasn't getting paid enough by O-Site. And O-Site was also being a big poopy head, meanie pants. And so they decided to part ways, and then O-Site stabbed him in his back on the way out. So, yeah. All right.
Or you could just rewind and actually watch the stream instead of being a fair weather fan.
No, I mean, he paid me $10. So you can be a fair weather fan. It's like, it
John, it's a joke.
Works out. Nico for 2 says, we need Big Toe Money song in mommy voice. Well, what if, do I have it here? Oh,
I do have it here. What if I just sang it for you right now? In the big toe, in this voice. Would that work for you, Jake, if I just a cappella sing it for you right now?
I would probably rather kill myself, I think.
Okay, fine. I'll turn it off. Emery Boy for 5 says, first time apart from the wife and kids for a few days since he was born, but I did come home to my Caricon shirt and a bunch of AR-10 mags. Very base. Well, I hope you and the wife and kids are well and safe as you were apart for a few days. It's always interesting the first time where you're like, well, I don't have my kid. I don't have my wife here. Like, what is going on? Like, it's weird. Like, am I by myself? What am I doing? Who's supposed to wake me up in the middle of the night? Who's supposed to be yelling and screaming as I fall asleep? Right? Who is good? Like, I don't even have a wife to bug to wake up to be like, hey, go get the baby. You know? I can't even do that to her. What the heck?
Yeah, John just casually describing the last 4 years of my life. Thanks.
Yikes!
Hey man, it is what it is.
You listen to crying babies at night just to fall asleep, to make yourself feel at home, right? To relive the past, the glory days. All right, finally we are cut up. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Only 2 hours in. Richard, how you doing for time?
I'm kind of pressed. Can we jump to the nasty rage bait?
You want to start off hard.
Well,
you want to start off all the way deep, because I saved this one literally for last because of how awful it is, but your wish is my command. We will get through this one first. So listen, we're into rage bait and we're just jumping in to the deep end of the feces filled execution chamber, unfortunately, because this is one of the most dark, disgusting stories that I've read in a long time, courtesy of Richard. So here we go. Baby found dead in a porta potty at Electric Forest Music Festival. Now, that headline in and of itself should evoke rage, sadness, hatred of a certain type of person, voids, if you will, degenerates as a whole, for good reason, because this is the most evil execution method, murderous, disgusting behavior that one could possibly do is basically this. Like, on the things that are not going to look good on the final judgment day, this is almost at the top of the list. It's pretty damn close to the top of the list. Police are asking the public for information after they say a baby was found dead inside of a portable restroom at a Michigan music festival over the weekend. According to Michigan State Police, the body of a neonate was discovered by an employee of the restroom vending company during routine maintenance on Sunday, June 28th, in the camping area of Electric Forest, the state's largest music festival. Neonites are 28 days old or younger, according to the World Health Organization. So it's almost inexpressible, the sheer like hatred that I feel for this person, whoever murdered this child via this method. Right? Like, I don't even know, the death penalty is simply not enough. The callous evil on display here so that you could party and be a degenerate with your friends at a music festival. It's so inhuman, anti-human. It's demonic, really, that the death penalty is simply not enough. Like, to think that this sanitation worker for the company is performing, maintenance, cleaning out these porta potties, and to find a newborn baby dead among the refuse.
Umbilical cord and placenta stack still attached.
Well, as we'll get into, it gets worse. It wasn't even a newborn. It was, well, newborn by definition, yes, but birthed into the porta potty, into its death at a drug-fueled music festival.
Well, it may have been born outside of the porta potties and then dumped because the nasal passages were clear enough for it to drown.
I mean, however the logistics work out, I'm not particularly interested. The effect is the same.
Yeah.
State police told USA Today no arrests had been made in the incident as of Monday, June 29th, and the case remained under investigation. If you were in the area and observed anything unusual, or if you have information that you believe may be relevant, we encourage you to come forward. We appreciate the public's cooperation and ask that people avoid speculation on social media out of respect for the investigation and those affected. The only person that's affected is the child. Now, there's a lot of people who need to be affected, greatly affected by this. And here you have the music festival. Now, I'm not a music festival rave bro. I have never been in this scene. I've never cared about this scene. From everything that I've seen from people who are, it's basically an excuse to get drunk, be gay, do crime, whatever the saying is. It's a hive of disgusting degeneracy, but this is far beyond just some normal degenerate act. Like, this is a 9-month pregnant or, late term pregnant woman going here to do drugs, to hang out, to party while severely pregnant, has the baby, and then decides to either through the process of birth or after the birth, dump it into a porta potty to kill it among the disgusting feces and refuse, for it to choke to death and die, whether from fumes, whether from drowning, whether from whatever else that it might be down there.
This is what you get when you do not have a society that punishes evil, even just simple forms of evil. When it goes unpunished and people can get away with more and more, it leads to this. You see this in ancient times too. Evil, like equally as evil of things happening. But we think, oh, we're so much more, we're so evolved. We're so much more intelligent than the ancients, right? We would never do something like that, but we do. We do these things. These things happen, right? And
well, I mean, we're worse than the Aztecs are when you think about it.
This
in
is
terms of our industrialized murder of children.
Yeah, this is sinister, really. This is probably worse than throwing your newborn off of the wall in Rome, into the wilderness. This is like, I don't even think they would put their babies into the toilet in Rome. I think it's it's extremely disturbing, but this is something that you guys should be aware of. Be very careful what kind of women you are spreading your seed to. Obviously, being a Christian, I would recommend that you get married before you have babies. Ideally, get married before.
The type of women that go to these sorts of things are not to be engaged with.
There is a certain class of women who are not marriageable, and they are mentally defective, and you should stay away from them, because if you happen to get them pregnant, this is the fate. Maybe not exactly this, but the fate of your baby will probably be something like this, which is them dying either in the womb or shortly after. And you should not partake in that. That would be, I think, damaging to your soul. Obviously, extremely damaging to the child. We pray that God has mercy on the soul of these infants. But we also, I would assume John agrees that we pray that God has a swift vengeance and justice against the people who perpetrate these kinds of things. And we know, like, this woman is probably not going to be punished even close to what she deserves, but eternally speaking, there is going to be a debt to pay. But this is just,
I've seen on social media a lot of people stating that they do have someone in custody now. The person that they have in custody was basically avoiding any police or hospitals because they had outstanding warrants. So they've been picked up in question with this incident, but they are being held on additional outstanding warrants. Now, I can't verify 100% on that yet, but it's looking like that may be the case.
Do we have a name or a face, out of curiosity?
Give me one moment here. I will.
I do have a perception, an intuition, if you will, about who this individual is, but I could be wrong.
I mean, when it comes to like this kind of festival culture, it's probably a white liberal lady. It could be some kind of ethnic lady, but who knows? I don't even think it matters.
This just reinforces the idea that women just don't need rights. If we give women rights and they murder their children, maybe rights was not what they needed.
Yeah, that's one thing we do know for sure, is that it was a woman, because a woman gave birth to that baby. Now, maybe there's some crazy scenario where she gave birth to this baby and her evil ass boyfriend.
No, because then she would have spoken up.
Yeah, no, that doesn't.
We've seen men murder children, but then the woman will. See, that's the problem. Men who murder children are actually looked down upon by society. Women who murder children are looked favorably upon in society.
And I think it's proven, because, like, look at how many men murder children, right? Look at how many women murder children. I think it is much more like for a man, I don't think that a man with his right faculties, right, who is in his right mind, can look at his offspring and say, yeah, I want to kill this thing. I don't think that that's a very common thing in this day and age, even in this day and age.
I had to just look it up because I'm reinforcing my own bias here, but 70% of all matricides or all infanticides are caused by women. 70%. And that's not including abortion in those statistics. So if you add in abortion, it's like 85%, if not more.
I've seen a number of women on social media commenting on this, stating that, well, the reason why the officials didn't release the exact age of the fetus is because
it wasn't a fetus.
Well, that's what they're trying to spin it as. Basically stating that somebody came in from out of state because they were oppressed and couldn't access women's reproductive rights and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, even though Michigan is open to other people for medical procedures, like, there is no limits there, right? So the fact that they're already going there tells me that that's likely what's going to happen. She might get a slap on the wrist, if that, but
that's also not, it's just, even in the framework of abortion, this is definitionally not abortion, right? I mean, even I guess the most radical would say that you can kill your children after they're born, but most people who support abortion wouldn't agree that you should be able to kill your child after birth. So even under like the common liberal definition of abortion, this isn't even classified as that. So to say it's like, oh, she's fleeing oppression so that she can abort her baby, it's like, I think she was probably high on drugs and had her labor induced probably early because of her partying and raving and whatever substances were in her system, and she just popped a baby out. She might not even have known that she had a baby. I don't know what her mental state was. It's still evil. It's all evil. This is the most, it's a shocking thing to see for sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, Richard. That was very uplifting. Yay, I have so much faith in humanity. I want such great things for these people.
But we shouldn't, but here's the thing, John, no faith in humanity. We have faith in God. We know that God will enact justice against these people, which is a very comforting thing. Like we wish these things would not happen, but we know that these things will not go unpunished.
Yep.
In eternity, which is
in the long run, all bills come due.
And I think that's one of the only reasons why we don't lose hope as Christians, is because we do know that God is in control of everything, and he will punish the evildoers, which is at least a little bit of I don't even know what you want to call it.
Yeah. Sorry to dump that one on you guys, but that story came across my feed earlier today. A coworker was telling me about it, and I went down a little deep dive into it, and it was rather disturbing. So I figured you guys needed to know about that one.
Well, thanks for bringing it to our attention, Richard. You going to hop off now, sir? Got work in the morning?
I am. I've got to be up in about 5 hours. So thanks for letting me hang out and chat. Love you guys. Stay strong.
Good night, Richard.
Have a good night, Richard. Appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
Good night, guys.
Central Stands Defense for 2 says death penalty. I mean, that is as severe as we can get, so that's going to have to do for now. At Trementar for 2 says they need to face justice 8th Legion style, which I believe is flaying them alive.
Yeah. I mean,
I know people are like down on like public displays of execution or whatnot, but it does have a wonderful chilling effect on the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you take your enemies and you shove a pole from ass to mouth and you just hang them along the road, it's like it has an effect. Like here lies a murderer, here lies this and that, whatever it might be. It's like makes people think twice.
It should be noted that these public displays of like pain and suffering for these people who commit these crimes, it's not really done for them, right? Like, yes, they're experiencing earthly suffering, but as Christians, we know that the suffering they experience after death is far worse than anything they experience here. And honestly, they'd suffer more if they were quickly put to death and then even quicker delivered to eternal judgment. But what that public display of punishment does is it kind of it's for the public. It's not for the people who are experiencing it. It doesn't.
Well, it's a public reminder of the consequences of evil, right? The consequences of sin.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I know that it does have a chilling effect. I would agree.
Thank you, Trementar. Central Stands Defense for another 5 says, I've delivered a baby roadside at work. The fact this happened makes me cry and furious at the same time. Like, again, I maybe I'm a big old softy here because I got 3 kids, right? But just the idea of one of my children being removed in such a hideous, evil fashion, right? Like, especially like my firstborn, if it was my only child, like I would have nothing else to live for but to bring these people to temporal judgment, right? That's what else am I supposed to do? Just allow it to happen and forget about it, right? And to be fair, there is a father out there somewhere who was probably negligent in his duties as well. So kind of want it for both of them.
Yeah.
Thank you, Central Stands Defense. Appreciate that. And hey, doing the right thing, being the good guy that people need sometimes. So Agardis for 2 says, can we take the do unto others bit literally here? Well, I mean, as we read earlier in Deuteronomy, there are prescriptive things when people fall short. There are temporal punishments. As Christ himself says, the authority from Caesar doesn't come from Caesar, it comes from me. Like, I've allowed you to have this authority. There are real authorities on this earth that have authority over judgments and punishments.
I see a Robot Buster saying maybe it was a stillborn miscarriage. I mean, the story that Richard said was that it drowned, so that is not accurate. And even if it was, leaving your baby in a toilet, in a porta potty
while you're in a drug-addled rave, I'm just like, one, I don't believe it, and two, I'm like, you probably, if it was like either a miscarriage or a stillbirth, it's like, did you kill it by your drug use and your activities though? And is that not basically the exact same thing by a different methodology?
And even all that aside, if you were living a perfectly healthy lifestyle and you gave birth to a dead baby, basically a stillbirth, into a porta potty, I still think you should be executed for leaving it in a fucking
imagine
toilet.
if I dug up your grandma's body after a funeral and throw it into a porta potty. You think that's chill? Do you think that's cool? You think that's how we deal with our dead? Do you think that's how we treat our dead?
Maybe in India, but we're not Indians. We're better than the Indians, guys.
Well, in India, that would be an honor to bury her in cow poop. So
yeah.
Amrite Boy for 2 says, I didn't need this today, Richard. Now I'm sad and mad. I was gonna save it for the end, but now we have silly
Richard.
Rage bait, I guess. It's like,
Richard
hey,
came in, he shit in the middle of the floor and said, "See you later, guys," and walked out and just left us to deal with that, which is awesome. Thanks, Richard. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Richard. Anyways, Democrats begin pulling Plattner endorsements after main candidate faces sexual assault allegation. This guy was the new face of the young white Democrats. You know, he's got military experience. He's trying to put some masculinity. He's got a mustache. He's for common sense gun control laws because he was a military man. And he's totally feminist, totally, pro-democratic socialism or whatever the heck it is, endorsed by Bernie Sanders. And it's like, rapist. Allegedly. Now here, again, listen, guys, I'm going to be very real with you on this. I don't believe all women. In fact, I believe very few women. In fact, I believe almost no women ever. However, okay, this is a strategy here. This is a tool, okay? If your enemy is going to use it against you, if the enemy is going to pick up the sword of essay allegations against you, it is very fair to just do the same thing in reverse and hold them to their own standard, right? So this is hoisting them by their own petard, not, being hypocritical or something like that. This is a tactic that they use against you, like a flank, like as any sort of tactic you can think of, right? You just use it back, okay? You use the tools of the enemy against them. It's not a bad thing. It's not an immoral thing, okay? So in this case, listen, believe all women, okay? Plattner, I'm sure at some point you said something about women being mistreated in American politics or in American life. And it's time for us to really acknowledge and lift up female voices and empower them. And I'm just going to agree with you. We need to empower this woman to take you to task just because it's funny and for no other purpose than to hoist you again by your own petard. All right. A woman who previously dated Maine Democratic Senate candidate Graham Plattner said he drunkenly forced her to have sex after she told him to stop, according to a Politico report released Monday, leading prominent supporters to pull their endorsements and throwing a must-win race for the party into turmoil. Which, again, who cares about the women? Who cares about foids? But use the hammer of your enemy against them. Okay, so just for this case only, we're all feminists here. We all believe all women. And Mr. Plattner, you've just got to go down. And sorry you had to hand your seat over, bro. Unbelievable. Regardless of the inaccuracy of the reporting, but mindful of the political reality it will inflict, we're taking time to reflect on the best path forward, he said in a video released to social media. Jenny Rassicot, whatever that name is, who lives in Maine, told Politico that Plattner entered her home in 2021 while drunk and assaulted her. Rassicot said she had been in an on and off relationship with Plattner, but she cut off contact with him after that night and told him the incident wasn't consensual. A voicemail left at a number listed for Rassicot seeking comment did not receive an immediate response, but she said in CNN interview on Monday evening that she opted not to fight back for fear of Plattner, a former Marine, becoming more violent. Now, here's the thing. Like, real talk here. I don't believe this broad. No, of course not.
I believe this story. I believe that he showed up drunk and they had sex, and then afterwards she let him know that it was unconsensual. Women do that a lot. Did she tell him in the moment? Did she give it up to him like it was going out of style, and then later on she decides, you know what? I don't really think I liked that, and then texts him and says, "Hey, that was not consensual. I didn't like that. Never talk to me again." That's a very common thing. The retroactive redefining of the encounter.
Yeah,
so
of course. I mean,
her
it's,
in that instance.
you have to understand that this is her truth and her lived experience, Jake. So who am I really? Okay, my foibles aside, who am I to judge this woman's lived experience until I've walked a mile in her? I was going to say something really gross there, so I'm just going to refrain from making that joke. Yeah, Jake, until you've walked a mile in her cum-stained dress, okay, you can't judge her.
Okay.
Jake
I'm
didn't
willing
get
to bet
off me. I'm calling the police.
I'm
Sorry, go
willing to bet she let him into the house, gave it up willingly, and then just
Well, and then of
regretted it.
course, like, this was 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just, I mean, listen, okay, whatever GOP operative is out there, like combing through his list of past sexual encounters, like, because they do this. They absolutely do this. The opposition research, absolutely go through all of your past relationships, try and pick out anything they can. And then 3 months, 4 months before the general election, they're like, throw this one out there, see how they do with it, so they already got their candidate locked in, they got all their money behind him, and then they're like, boom, little surprise for you. How does that go? As a huge, I mean, this absolutely is put on by some Republican op-ed somewhere.
How do you get that job as like the private investigator who just gets paid way too much money to just dig into people's sexual history? Seems like a pretty chill job.
It's really effective though, isn't it? Especially against Democrats, right? Because like if you're a right-wing person and some Floyd made up a lie about you 10 years ago, you'd be like, yeah, the Floyd made up a lie about me 10 years ago. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, she's a bitch. And she wasn't even good.
And then, and then your audience cheers. And it's like, yeah, what up? And Graham Plattner has to be here and be like, I'm really sorry. And my team is conflicted about how we move forward best in light of this new information. And it's like that everybody's like rescinding their endorsement of you. So you're going to lose the race, or you're going to have to pull out, which is going to hand it to the opposition. So it's like,
I'm just wondering at what point does he get his Totenkopf tattoo redone and just embrace it at this point?
He becomes the right-wing chud they feared he was.
Yeah.
Punished Plattner arc. There we go. That's what we need. All right, we're going to skip that story. We're going to get into shenanigans, though, okay? Because I know that you guys love it so much. Listen, I love America and everything about America. And this young man here, oh my gosh, what a screenshot, is just as American as you and I will hear nothing different, okay? This man is either performatively causing destruction of property, or he's insane, or demonically possessed, or on some sort of substance, or honestly, a combination of all of the above.
Fuck Walmart, nigga. Fuck them hair care products, nigga. I'm in Walmart getting it real wild, nigga. They done fucked up the last time, nigga. Fuck Walmart, nigga. Fuck Walmart.
This feels performative.
Yeah, just a little bit. It doesn't matter if it's performative, though, right? Because it almost makes it worse, because it's not like you're just some unintelligible animal destroying its environment as you would normally do. It's like, no, you're choosing to behave like this because you're a semi-unintelligible animal, right?
Yeah.
Dang, I ain't gonna lie, nigga. I'm gone, nigga. What the fuck is this, nigga? Fuck all that wild, nigga. What the fuck is this, nigga? Fuck all this alcohol shit, nigga. This ain't no real alcohol, nigga. This ain't no real. Nigga. What?
Well, if you think about it, he can get away with doing this, and no one can blame him because this is just his nature.
Fuck Walmart, nigga. They going to the back with the fuck y'all call y'all manager, nigga. Call that bitch ass, nigga. Oh, get him something like that, nigga. I'm gone, nigga. I'm gone, nigga. Ain't free, nigga. Fuck these brakes, nigga. Fuck these brakes, nigga. Delicious.
See, we just have to like pretend like everybody just like looks down, like don't look the animal in his eyes, you know, like just let him go by and he won't single you out, you know? Like we all just have to pretend to get along. Like, oh, this is fine. This is normal.
John, if he shopped at Walmart, just you see him in the background slowly drawing his pistol.
Okay, you know what? I do go to Walmart. I do go to Walmart sometimes,
You
you know,
do?
but I live in South Dakota though. You know,
You
so when
don't-
I go to Walmart, it's clean, it's nice. You know, products aren't locked up here. It's actually really crazy. Like you
Hey,
can go
that's
to
good.
Walmart and just grab stuff off the shelf here. Did you know that? It's possible. If you live in a homogenous area. Now there are of course like bad parts of Sioux Falls and whatnot, but if you go to like one of the other like mini cities that are around here, like there's
Yeah.
Delicious. They gon' spirit it, nigga. We grown, nigga. We grown, nigga. Fuck spirit, nigga. Fuck
they lock up socks at your Walmart, dude.
That's wild.
Fuck these Doritos.
You know what you said about him not being able to be like persecuted or prosecuted for this. He only caused like $200 worth of damage because it's like chips are like $1.50 a bag or something. The isopropyl alcohol is like $1.50 a bottle. He destroyed one display, and it's like he's just being a belligerent retard, and he should be put down. But in terms of like total dollar amount of damage, it's pretty low, which is why a lot of these places are like, do we, you know, call the cops and file a report, or do we just put stuff back on the shelf and pretend that it doesn't happen every week?
Yeah. I think the only thing I saw someone in the chat saying this, the only thing they lock up at the Walmarts here is like condoms and lube, which, you know, that's whatever. And I know in some areas, if I get closer to the city, the downtown area, they have like baby formula locked up. They have a lot of stuff
Yeah.
locked up, which is pretty interesting. But here it's not too bad. Home Depot is worse. Home Depot locks up a lot of stuff. But
That's
they
funny.
they have a theft problem.
Now, you remember this image, I'm sure, that was going around, this terrifying image of Patriot Front
Mhm.
mogging this one random black chick, which has been lovingly referred to as Rosa Shart, I think is the update. So this image was being passed around everywhere on social media. Like, look at these evil white supremacists tormenting this black passenger, and she's having to like cower in fear for her lives as these evil racists surround her on public transportation. Ironically, while they're all in good order, like sitting down, not causing problems for anywhere. And honestly, she is in no fear for her life whatsoever. And it just always does the thing where it backs up. It backfires a little bit. Sorry, my bad. Backed up. They're calling her Rosa Farts. So she was, again, on her best behavior when Patriot Front showed up, and before she was doing something inappropriate on public transport. We're not entirely sure exactly what happened. She's been arrested for indecent exposure before. It's just, this is your Rosa Parks idol right here. Unfortunately, this is a censored version, but she's doing something over there, and you can use your imagination as to what exactly is happening. And then she
And
pulls up her pants. And
I
sits
bet it
down. smells
smells absolutely terrible in that bus.
What does that even mean, Focus Trip? Ralph T. Woman? But yeah, and then of course, just it's quite obvious that they were there to do their march or demonstration or whatnot, which is fine. Good on them. I'm sure there's a bunch of like Fed boys and informants hanging out among them. But for the people there trying to do a good thing, like fine on them. But notice the difference here, the stark contrast. She is sitting there allegedly afraid for her life while the evil Nazi racist bigots are surrounding her. And she's literally in no danger whatsoever, like none, right? And you scroll down a little bit and it's like, who's actually in danger here? A black girl surrounded by the most evil racists imaginable, or a white girl and a random black? Just a singular random black. Who's actually in danger?
I think it's pretty obvious. Also in the side chat, Vorp. Only
What
one
about
of the
Vorp?
two focus trips is aware of the Ralph mail.
I
don't know. I'm not
don't
sure
know
what the
who the
Ralph.
Ralph mail is.
We need the lore on the Ralph situation. I'm confused.
I don't know if I need the lore on the Ralph situation. The Ralph mail, no, thank you. Yeah, I think I know which one of these I prefer. Like, listen, give me 1,000,000 or 100,000,000 of the most evil racist Nazis you can imagine, and I think the country magically gets a lot cleaner and safer. Like, I'm just saying, okay, my hypothetical situation, if I have 100,000,000 evil rapists, evil racist Nazis, okay, not the rapist Nazis, but the evil racist Nazis.
Not
if I
like
have
the
100,000,000 of
Democratic
them-
politician.
Yes, unlike Plattner, not the rapist Nazis, the racist Nazis, magically the country gets like way cleaner and way safer, and your kids can like walk to the park and they don't have to look behind them at an ATM at night or something like that. Like magically, like the world just gets better. Like it's crazy how that happens.
Yeah, unironically, every Nazi that I know is way nicer to black people than most black people are.
It's true.
And they don't kill them ever. I've seen like the amount of black people who kill other black people. I can't think of the last time a Nazi killed a black person. It just doesn't happen. It's weird.
It's very rare. And often when it is, you find out that they were funded by the SPLC. And it's like, you're almost like manufacturing your own hate crimes here. The demand is too much for the supply. Now, we covered this last week, and I did want to update this. So the migrant animal who murdered the father and off-duty police officer after he tried to intervene and break up a fight at a soccer viewing party in Sweden. Well, it turns out that he is a migrant from Germany, right? Germany, who was charged with rape in 2013, 7 years for attempted murder in 2017, and now he's going to be charged with real murder in 2026. And that's really all they care about. It seems to me like you can literally do anything as a migrant. The grand prize is when you murder a white person or multiple white people, then you actually get some sort of punishment. You can rape people, you can attempt to kill people, you can assault people, all that you want. You can steal, you can do anything you want, but they're waiting. They're like, please kill a white person. Please murder a white person or a white family, preferably, and then we'll send you to prison for the rest of your life. But before you can go to prison, gotta murder a white person. So please, migrants, just murder a white person, and then you can go to jail. Then you can actually face now right? That's the only way that these people actually face any consequence at all, and sometimes not even that. Okay, so that's the unfortunate update here. Now I might skip this one for time, but there maybe not, because it's a wild ride. Okay, Jake. So just strap in. We're about to have a wild amalgamation
I don't
of
think I will strap on, John.
a wild amount of police overreach, lock cameras, just complete disregard for anonymity or privacy, and horrible conduct by, again, someone who's ostensibly there to quote unquote protect and serve. So married former Monroe County, Florida deputy Lamar Roman Lamar Roman. You can't put those two names together, okay? Lamar makes sense for what you are. Roman, not so much, okay? We're just going to take that surname back from
That's stolen valor.
Yeah, worked security on a TV series, Bad Monkey, that was filmed in the Florida Keys. Now, Bad Monkey sounds a little bit like Lamar himself, does it not? So I wonder if he was working security on the show. Have you seen Bad Monkey? I mean, I know we've seen lots of Bad Monkeys, but have you seen the show Bad Monkey?
No, John, I've never even heard of it. Thankfully.
So anyways, this Mr. Lamar took a fancy to one of the women in the show and used Flock ALER cameras and their AI database, to locate her address and her vehicle as she was going down the road. If you go to the county's website, separate video, you can see the dash cam footage of him passing two vehicles in a double yellow at 70 miles an hour to speed up to pull her over. One of the vehicles had to swerve off the road, seriously, to avoid his cop car when he was speeding up to pull her over. So this guy's like, oh, that actress, she's kind of hot. She's kind of nice as I'm working security. Well, guess what? I'm going to use these really convenient Flock cameras and the database I have access to track her down, figure out what she drives, figure out where she lives. And I'm just going to, put myself in the right area to pull her over one day and introduce myself. Like nightmare. And this is a retarded monkey or a bad monkey. Sorry. Think about what the government's going to do with this information, right? He then pulled her over with no legal pretext. Body cam footage then shows him saying, "I told you I'd find you," and laughing during the illegal stop. Now, if a police officer ever tells me, "I told you I'd find you," and I didn't previously murder his family, I think this guy's a psychopath. I think this guy is about to abuse his position of power here, so to speak. And if I'm a female getting pulled over by Mr. Lamar, I'm like, oh, this is how it ends. This sucks. This is a bit of an oopsie here. He then added her vehicle to a quote-unquote hot list in the database that would alert him every time her car passed a privately owned surveillance camera in his county. So he could literally track her. He's like, ooh, that's a hot chick I got the hots for. I'm going to add her car to this database, and it's going to send me an alert every time she drives by one of these cameras so I can track where she is at all times. And remember, this is one private individual, not like, the ATF or the FBI or name your agency that wants to know exactly where you are at any point in time. Flock dating app, that's wild. After being arrested, his criminal case was moved to a diversionary program where his charges will be dropped when and if he completes a court-mandated program. He will never spend a day in prison for criminally stalking her, nor for the blatant violation of her 4th and 14th Amendment rights. So here's the guy. And again, this is Lamar Roman in his little hearing talking about what he did.
Did you pull her over?
I did.
Okay. When you pulled her over, did you know it was her?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have a legal reason to pull her over?
No.
Okay. All right. So the reason I asked you to come in today is I'm a supervisor of the detective unit. I operate down south.
Why does this cop look like Logan?
Look like who?
Logan.
It's because he's a jollet.
Is that a female cop?
I have no idea what it is. It's a little feminine, but there's a lot of hair on that arm. So I'm like 50-50 here.
I've seen some hairy. Yeah, look in the chat. Is that Logan? I'm not even. I'm not a
Shadow Force is like Logan. Logan spotted. Hey, you never know. Maybe he moonlights as a interviewing deputy in Florida sometimes. I don't know.
Investigating one of our deputies for some misconduct, and I'm wondering if you know about this or you know what I'm talking about.
No, I just want Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I know what happened to me.
Can you tell me about your interaction with?
Yeah.
That is a female. It's just a hair. Sorry to call you out like that, man, but you just got really hairy arms. Okay, it was really close to the camera. It's really. I just noticed it. Okay, I'm sorry.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah, so I was on set with Bad Monkey pretty much all of February. But the very first.
Did she just say I was on set with the Bad Monkey or on Bad Monkey?
I think she was
Because
on Bad
we
Monkey.
know he's a bad monkey, man, but you don't need to call him that. It's like
Being on Bad Monkey doesn't sound any better, honestly.
no.
day, which was February 3rd, They had us shuttled over to the first scene, and as soon as I get off the bus, it was like immediately it was, oh my God, why didn't nobody tell me we were bringing models to set? Just being very loud. And Lamar.
Okay.
And I pinpoint them immediately, and I'm like, this is so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's not how I want my first to be. Like, it's not what I want it to be.
And this was right when you got off the bus?
As soon as I was walking off the shuttle. Okay. Yeah. So then our stand-ins go to where the scene is happening, and they're walking us through it. And he comes up to me and he's like, hey, I apologize if I made you feel uncomfortable or disrespected you or anything. And I'm like, oh no, you're fine. And
lying.
What's your name? And
Typical woman.
And he was
Well, I mean, yeah, this is the thing. I mean, I would say that if there's a security guy, it's your first day on set, you're being a little, like, oh, ha ha ha, that's so funny, right? Because you're not trying to, I guess, ruin your one shot at fame right at the beginning because somebody's being a little wacky to you. I mean, listen, okay, it's Hollywood. You should just expect to get molested. But here's also the there's gonna be a couple of Weinstein situations in your future if you want to get famous. Okay, here's the actual footage though of him pulling her over. Now, can you just full screen this?
You're not allowed to full screen, John.
Tragic. Did that do anything?
Even smaller. No, that made it smaller.
Yeah, that made it worse. Here we go. I'll just move us around. So wait, where did he do the overtake? I didn't see an overtake here. Because he was supposed to do like a double overtake, wasn't he? And then push somebody off the road, basically.
Just fake news.
That's what I was told, Mr. Guns and Gear. Come on. So where is the double overtake? Unless this isn't the person and you're going to go around him in a second. No?
Probably already happened.
It must have been before. Well, that's the footage that I want. So it says he almost caused a head-on collision. Why don't you show me that footage? Yeah, and he's going over there, stalking her, checking her out.
Hey, baby girl, I recognize
Dude,
you.
I gotta protect and serve you. You know what I'm saying? So why don't you come back to my place so I can keep an eye on you? You know what I'm saying? There's lots of bad people out there, especially in the neighborhoods you hang out in. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been tracking you all day. Dude, and he's just like hanging out, just talking to her, like not coming back to his vehicle. He just talks to her for a couple minutes. Got to be an awkward interaction.
Honestly, like, this is not as bad as things could be with Flock. It's still horrible.
Well, this is the most mild outcome, right?
Yeah, this could be so much worse. And I don't think people understand the amount of power that we give law enforcement with Flock and also the average citizen, because to my understanding, there's a lot of easy access backdoors. Don't even say anything to the Flock system where you can gain access to this footage, and the average person can just get in there, and it's not good. It's really not good. That being said, I feel more comfortable with a private individual having information about my whereabouts than I do the government. I don't want anybody to have that information, but
you say that, but what about a horny police officer? Private individual or a horny police officer?
Is she hot?
He is he's hot and ready to go, if you know what I'm saying.
If it was a hot female officer, we can talk about it. But that's from my perspective, all right? I'm just a man.
You are just a man. Now, speaking about men that are just like us, Jake, identical to us in every way, shape, or form. No, like I can't honestly even tell the difference in any way, shape, or form. This is the video that I put in the intro underneath the Tolkien, or on top of the Tolkien bit. Absolutely horrifying footage has emerged from a quote-unquote teen takeover. Teen. I have a word for that. Where did it go? Here it is. Mega! Takeover in North Charleston, South Carolina. It appears that a white female police officer was severely beaten by a mob of black teens, including with what appears to be a Roman candle. So they attempt to go into this neighborhood, which is known for shootings, and they were shooting guns and fireworks at cars, allegedly. That's the background of the situation. So cops come in here responding to reports of blacks shooting guns and fireworks at vehicles driving by.
Sounds like the 4th of July to me.
And she's getting ragdolled. It's just a hail of blacks until another white police officer comes in. And even then, there's got to be multiples of them.
Absolute Chad officer, by the way. Can we roll that back?
Should have been. Sorry, say again.
Can we roll that back? I want to see that. That was a Chad officer right there.
We will. But listen, I wish that he would have like kneed straight to the temple there. Like, we're not going for the neck anymore. We're going straight to the temple, okay? Hello? There it is. Yeah, she's just kidding. There's nothing she can do, right? She is at the mercy of these animals. The guy tries to push the police officer off. Sorry,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know why it's skipping there. Was it skipping for you?
It was, yeah. That music is also ear rape, like actual ear rape.
My apologies. Well, here we have a better one here anyway. So they've really upgraded their tech though. Okay. We're out of the Stone Age. We're now into no, we're still in the Stone Age. I lied. Allegedly, one of the weapons found at the scene was a knife taped to a stick.
Mm-hmm.
They're recreating spears. They're having makeshift spears and perhaps chucking them at officers in their takeovers. They're just returning to the land, returning to nature.
I remember making a spear like that when I was like 8 years old.
It's getting tough out there in the hood, okay? you don't know. They cut off our EBT, okay? So absolutely stunning new details are emerging around the horrifying assault on police officers in North Charleston, South Carolina on July 4th. Officers say they found a makeshift spear at the teen party while responding to a call that said, "We're shooting fireworks at passing cars," and multiple gunshots were reported. Officers directed everyone to leave the event. However, fights broke out and even more shots were fired. Police also recovered a huge number of firearms and ammo. 4 people were arrested, but more arrests are coming. We do not have to live like this. We kind of do for the time being, and until, I mean, this is literally the state of modern policing. You want to be a strong, empowered female? Okay, take on Jamal and Tamar, and good luck out there, dog. You're strong and independent. Good luck out there.
Yeah.
Sorry, we got that music again.
Item number 6,259. Evidence why a female.
It's way more than that. And again, that police officer is just sitting there helpless until somebody else comes in, and it's like,
Also,
yeah, get out of here, bro.
That's an alpha male strategy right there.
And then
He's
I
not
think
worried
that
about
other
an internal
that's a female
investigation.
police officer on the right. I think, yeah, that's a female Foyd on another black Foyd. Dude, but they are literally like, if you look, there's a lot of blacks around. Like, this is still, and there's only 4 officers. So they're only at most able to arrest a few of them before, like, either they need more backup or they need to leave with the people that they have. Honestly, if the blacks here were like, actually, you're not arresting them, they could stop the police officers from doing it pretty damn easily. Because 4 against like 40 surrounded, I know you got guns. I don't think you're particularly competent with them. And I'm guarantee you a bunch of these blacks are packing as well. So this is a very dangerous situation still that they're in, even though the hostilities have temporarily cooled down.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, unless more police officers show up, which hopefully there will be. Yeah, Chad moved there. What is this thing? Is that just short hair? Did she lose her wig? Is that the wig? No way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is. That's so funny. Yes. She lost her wig. I got to go back. So, okay, so she pulled the wig off of her head. The female police officer did. So this monkey is punching her in the face while 2 other people hold her down.
Yeah. Went from Michelle to Michael real quick.
Yeah.
That
Chad push. Yeah, I love that.
The hit
That's
was crazy. Also, I do love the knee on the chest move. That's domination right there. It's pretty good.
That's right.
And Derek Chauvin's sitting in prison for that right now, by the way. Pretty crazy.
Honestly, this is one of those moments where somebody needs to yell taser, 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 and it's just a bunch of loud bangs. You know?
I thought I grabbed my taser.
Yeah, my bad. You know, heat of the moment. Me, dude, literally Black Hawk Down. You have two, you got 4 police officers there surrounded just by a wall of howling monkeys. And it's like you are basically existing on their benevolence right now. Because again, they've already attempted a little bit, but if they organized, fortunately they're not very organized. If they organized at all, they could stop you guys from doing what you want to do right now.
I feel like if you showed this clip to Mike Durant, he would probably have some PTSD.
Just terrified of it. Well, we'll have one more tonight, I guess. I mean, it's on, or maybe should we leave on a happier note? We're 3 hours in. We should probably just leave on a.
John, I would love a happy note. Are there any happy notes?
Well, that's like happier. They get beat up and they get the knee on the chest and they get arrested and taken out. Like that's it's a lot happier than the next story that I had pulled up. Let me put it that way. The next story I have put up is a lesson why you don't have your daughters hang out with people like this. And because you couldn't let it rest, Jake, I'm pulling my rank here and I'm showing the clip regardless. So white teen attacked after rejecting the advances of an African. And we just can't figure out what happened here. We just can't figure out what the problem is. And there's a little kid right there. There's this young teenage girl who's rejecting the advances of the black who stole this bicycle and is now accosting her. And she's like, I don't want anything. Like, go away. And then for the offense of rejecting his rapey advances, he then accosts her.
He chased her down, just tried to make small talk, and obviously she was minding her own business and she just didn't want to engage. But you can see through the video that he got more aggressive at the very end.
Other residents witnessed the assault.
He got more aggressive at the very end.
Took several punches to the face and head before falling to the ground. The culprit grabs cash, we're told, about $30 from her hand and takes off on his bike. The girl,
a thieving rapist. Sorry, go ahead.
He robbed her too.
Of course, why not? She wouldn't let me hit, so I beat her up and took her money. Like, duh, just obvious. Imagine, dude. Some of these people live life like they're in an RPG, playing the renegade option, playing the bad option. They're like, flirt failed, rob. That's the next option they select.
Yeah, I mean that's how I play like Skyrim and Fallout, but.
Oh, sure.
Because it's a video game,
It's almost, but you're playing a different person, not just acting as yourself,
Yeah, no, it's a totally different thing. It's not my, it's not how I engage in real life, but I guess the boundary between video games and real life is blurred for these people.
Well, some would say it's all shapes and colors to them, but.
Do they see in color? Do we know?
Oh, we don't. They're colored, so I see colors. I don't know if they see in color, but I see colors, and that's the problem. But yeah, no, I mean, listen, like, I could never allow my wife or daughter to live in an area where this could like be a possibility. It's like I was at a high school graduation not too long ago for someone in the family, and I was like. Nope. Never sending my kids to one of these places. It wasn't in my state, fortunately. I was like, nope, not happening. Not while I have breath in me and control of my children. That is not going to be me. No, thank you. Not going to live around these people. And I feel for everyone who does not have that ability, who does not have that option, who does the best that they can. But again, in my situation, fortunately, I have the ability to say, nope, not happening. Well, I mean, D's Nut says, got to teach your kids to never relax. That's not even enough, right? Because she did the right thing. She was like, go away. Like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, nope, this isn't happening. And it's like, well, of course, it's like you live at the benevolence of these people because, listen, if they chose to rape, murder, kill, steal, they just do it, right? And unless you have enough force And I mean that unless you have enough force to get them to stop, they won't, right? So you have to be able to exert enough force, and spoiler alert, your daughter does not. She does not have the force necessary to stop one of these people, or more likely multiple of these people. So, now that was the happy ending. Teach your daughters well, be in their lives, do what you can. Your sons as well. You got to prepare your kids. I mean, I know like people want to live in that nice world that they grew up in. Like Jake, me and you were roughly the same age. I'm a little bit older, but
yeah,
we grew up like not really caring about anything.
Yeah,
I had a pretty normal childhood. Like I remember before 9/11, you know, I was riding bikes in my cul-de-sac before 9/11, you know, and I remember like I lived in a big city, like what is considered a big city. Like it's bigger than the biggest city that's in my current state. And we would just ride our bikes around. We would just have a pretty normal childhood. We would go on walks in the woods and we would just, build tree forts and stuff like that. We had a really normal childhood. That world's gone.
Yeah, it is. I mean, growing up, I didn't even think about black people. Just didn't even occur to me.
Never.
I knew like 2 black people that went to my church, and it was like this old black lady and her daughter. No man in the home. But those were like the only black people I knew, and I didn't think about all this crime and stuff. It was just it was an easy childhood, and life was simple, and the food tasted better.
That's the thing that's been lost is you now have to think about it. And not only do you have to think about it, but you have to steel your children as well, because they have to think about it as well. Right? And I mean, I'm extremely lucky to grow up in the time that it was, but my children will never have that opportunity. Now, obviously, it's significantly better where I am now than where, like, in Washington State and like Puyallup, like south of Tacoma. It's like, no, that place is a hellscape now, where we cannot live the way that we used to, unfortunately. But I mean, yeah, the America that I grew up in, the America that I grew up in was much closer to the 1950s America than it is to now, in terms of demographics, in terms of crime, in terms of morality.
Yeah.
Like that's how much of like a paradise that I lived in like the late 90s, early 2000s as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's sad, but yeah, you gotta be the man. You gotta step up. You gotta do what you can do. Central Sands Defense for 2 says, I'm not ready to spaz out about Flock right now. Well, I'm not going to make you unless you want to, okay? Unless you want to. I mean, I know that the arguments for it are that it allows many blacks to be brought to justice very efficiently. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, I get the benefit there. However, flip side of that, if a little government wanted to, do a little hit on me or my family or my friends or my community or like put us on the terror watch list or something, then it's like, damn it, now it's problematic. I get it. All right. Over on Ko-Fi, Paps Blue Ribbon for 3 says, thoughts on Thomas Rousseau's DC speech from the 4th. I do not know who Thomas Rousseau is off the top of my head. Far-right activist, white nationalist group, Patriot Front. Okay, so he's like the leader. I did not watch his speech. I'm not as skeptical of Patriot Front as others are. Federal informants are everywhere. They're literally in the chat with us right now. I guarantee it. Like literally one of them might be on screen with you right now.
I work for the FBI. I am a federal informant.
But you can't let that stop you from building a community, from building a friends group. Like what's the alternative? Sit back and do nothing? Like cry and whine about it online? It's like, oh, great. We're doing that right now. Is it helping anything? You got to do something. You got to meet people. You got to get together. You got to build a community, and you got to actually, put your weight against the levers of power, so to speak. Whether that be through institutions, whether that be through finance, whether that be through like your own personal life and having a bunch of kids and building the future that way, like actually mechanically building the future, if you know what I'm saying. Also, building the future can be quite fun. But yeah, you got to actually do something. So don't let it be a cooling action, even if bad people exist out there. Spoiler alert, bad people exist who want to subvert and destroy your way of life. Gotta get up and work regardless. Todd and Dogs for 3 says, if you attack black people beating up a white cop, you'll get charged with a hate crime if the feds have anything to do with it. Also, very true. In those same white cops will arrest you for doing so. Well, listen, we're not quite as bad as the UK, but that's where we're going to be. You could actually just be assaulted by a gang of blacks, and if you even fight back, they will arrest you for being racist. That's the way it is right now. We're not quite as bad as that here. And in some sections of America, there's still some Americana to be had, but you do need to be careful. You do need to be very careful.
Some states and counties and cities are better than others when it comes to that kind of stuff.
100%. All right, Jake, what do you want to say before we get out of here?
Since we ended on a black pill, I would like to actually end on a white pill. I want you guys to know that it's not hopeless. Everyone should be reading their Bible, praying, going to church, building a community of Christians, and recognizing that Christ is King. That is really our only way forward in this trying time. When you're surrounded on all sides by niggardry of proportions that you are incapable of comprehending, you really need to have something higher, something outside of this world to put your faith in, something that is eternal and true, and that is Christ. So yeah, Christ is King. Don't fight it, guys.
True. Well, and without Christ, everything is meaningless nihilism anyway. So you might as well just hop onto the winning team, okay? Because it gives us a reason to do what we got to do. Over on Rumble, Bushmaster throws a couple in at the end, says, I grew up in Washington. Me too, 27 years, baby. And I hate going back there and seeing their shithole it has become. I never even saw a homeless person when I was a kid unless I was in Spokane or Seattle, and now they're everywhere. Dude, we used, like, as teenagers, we used to like drive to Seattle just to walk around and have fun. Like, we'd go to the pier, we'd go to, you know, the market and the different stuff there. Just like a bunch of us teenagers. Never do that anymore. Why would we do that? It's gross and disgusting there. But thank you, Bushmaster. I appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Hans. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us, for giving us your time on this Monday. You know, with all the losses that we've had recently in the industry, with some friends, with some family, I want to thank everybody for being here, for being part of the community. Check in on your homies. And most importantly, like, get out there and actually put in the work. I know it's easy to be online. I know it's easy to be gay and to give up on everything and to black pill, but that's the only way that you lose. The propaganda would not be necessary. They wouldn't need to subvert every facet of our life if they didn't need to do it to try and, get us to lose, right? So we have the upper hand because we have Christ. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you on Wednesday. Good night. God bless. Godspeed. Christ is King.
We're occupied by Zog.